Hey, good evening, and what's going on, all my dudes? Welcome to the third annual Unofficial Anniversary Livestream Event. Woo! What's up? How you guys doing? You might notice, well, a couple things. In the past, these events have been a lot of fun for everybody that's involved, and I hope that they've been a lot of fun for you as well, as we go into it. So I want to thank all of you guys for coming and hanging out. I want to also thank everybody who's going to be on camera and on voice in just a couple of minutes. Big thank you to them as well. So awesome. Hello, everybody. And you might notice that this year's event is taking place a little bit behind the official FFBE anniversary. Okay, so at this point, we know it's been going on for a little over 2 weeks. And there's even been some questions about it. Why are we so behind? I got to be honest with you, there are definitely some reasons that have had to do with like organizing schedules in real life, but also some things that center around us just wanting to make sure we had time to like play the anniversary, to get into the anniversary and see how it was playing out. And so that's definitely some of the stuff that we're going to talk about today. But we wanted to make sure that we had a nice basis for what we were talking about before we talked about the anniversary. And here we are. So if you guys have seen any of these live stream events in the past, my guess is that many of you are going to recognize a lot of your guests. A lot of your guests that we have on store for us tonight. You've probably saw them on the various social media posts that I made. Some big names, some famous names in the creator community. And I've asked them to pay attention to the chat during the live stream. So if there's something you want to ask them about, jump right in and ask them about it in the chat. And if it's something that we feel like we need to take a pause and talk about, we're going to do our best to address those questions. We're not following a script. We've got a plan. We've got an outline. But we're definitely not married to or nailed to, we must answer these questions. We're going to try and go off book a little bit, but we also want to make sure that we keep this event, meaningful for you guys in terms of like how long it is, and not waste a lot of your time, and especially whether that's true if you're watching it here live tonight on Twitch or on YouTube tomorrow. We want to make sure and keep the video like fresh and relevant. On topic. Speaking of Twitch, most everybody that you hear from today has some sort of presence on either YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, or something, if not others. And I suggest that you take a look on Twitch or YouTube or all those places to see their contributions to our community. And speaking of Twitch, I do want to just throw out there really quick that I did my best to try and reduce the number of ads that you'll see tonight during this stream. I can't turn them off completely, but I do have them set to occur as minimally as possible. They should keep you from having your experience of our event interrupted. I apologize in advance, but if you do see an ad, it shouldn't last more than 30 seconds. So real quick, today we're going to be talking about a variety of topics. Overall, the theme of our stream, though, I'm going to stand up so you can see it, is community. I've said so many times before that I think FFBE is my favorite single-player game that I play with other people. Whether you're checking out a live stream or a video, interacting on social media, or even setting up a friend for the friends list, you're engaging in our community. But there's so much more to it than that. And I hope that today's live stream can serve as a small way for us to celebrate our communities together, as well as the big picture overall community that all of us are part of. So without further ado, I'm going to swing over and I'm going to grab all of our guests and we're going to get those questions and chats going so that we can start having some conversations. And welcome again to the 2023 FFBE Unofficial Anniversary Livestream Event. Don't go away. All right, everybody. So here we are with all of your guests on screen, and we are going to get started talking about all kinds of fun things, and in terms of all of our topics. And we're going to start out talking about just wide, big picture, year in review type stuff. And before we get into any of that, I'm going to give them all a chance to say hello. And because there are so many of us, I'm going to talk. I'm going to invite them to do that one at a time. And I'm going to have Archaic, you can go ahead and say hello and tell us a little bit about what you're doing. Hopefully you got some folks in your community hanging out.
Thanks, Kurt. Yep. Archaic Werewolf. I've been streaming FFBE, I think, close to 4 years now. Azamar, good to see you. I do see a couple family members in the chat. Good to see you. Excited to be here yet. I think this is my third unofficial, so good stuff.
Awesome. So glad to have you. And Dave, since you're right there on top, why don't you go next?
Hey guys. I don't really have much going on. I just, upload videos, anniversary content, stuff like that.
Awesome.
That's me.
Awesome. Thanks for being here. SK, wearing that wonderful hat. Go ahead and take it away.
What up, kings and queens? How we doing? Hopefully everyone has a lovely day. See Maddie Brooking, my little baby in chat. Good to see you. Mwah. Welcome. Hopefully everyone's having an absolutely lovely weekend. I'm Saiyan Knight. Play a lot of Genshin, Street Fighter. You know what it is. Queen main, resident cutie. Happy to be here. Third time. Hopefully it's a charm.
This is going to be the one. This is going to be the one. I can feel it. And speaking, switching from a letter in K to another letter in K, HK, take it away.
Hello, everybody. I'm Worship HK, or just call me HK. I like to do a lot of cosplay stuff. I stream FFBE stuff occasionally, but I really like to hang out with everybody on here. So, yeah, that's about it.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. And Dream, looks like you're next.
Yeah, hi. Just checking in from Global Exclusive Podcast and whatnot, which hasn't been active lately, but may come back at some point when we're not so busy. I also am still just keeping up with, the damage calcs and the wiki ratings that people around the Reddit are probably all familiar with. All that boring number stuff. But yeah, still just been around for a long time now and keeping it up still.
Good deal. Good deal. Thank you for your work there. Kamikiro, hello.
Hi everyone, this is Kamikiro. Thank you, girl, for the invitation. I'm a FFB exclusive content creator from YouTube around 6 years now for the Hispanic community, and I'm glad to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us. And we have before I'm gonna let Magro say before I say anything goofy next. I'm gonna let Magro go next. Go ahead, Magro.
Hi everyone, I'm Mad. Sorry I don't have my video on. It's getting ready for about an hour and a half from now. We're going to have a game show with the man behind me, Sinsar, Dream, and Worship. I hope you guys enjoy, but most of you guys know me. I do a lot of Final Fantasy stuff and Dragon Quest as well, but I hope to see everybody in about an hour and change.
Looking forward to it. And last but not least, just because he happened to join the group first and his icon's at the bottom, Finzar?
What's up there, guys? Thanks, Gert, for inviting me to the anniversary unofficial stream again. Done a few of these. They're very fun, exciting to watch, exciting to participate in. And yeah, I make Brave Exvius videos, trials, news, unit information, all that kind of stuff. Been doing it for a long time and hope to keep doing it. Thanks for the invite.
Absolutely. Very glad to have you. And I've been doing some math behind the scenes, and I think across all of us, I think we may have like 6 or 7 different time zones. And we've got at least 3 different countries, which is really, really cool. And I'm really excited about that, to have all you guys here. So thank you so much again for being here. Yeah, who is this Sinzar guy? Some new content creator, absolutely. Let's dive right into it. We're a little ahead of schedule, but let's just have fun with it. So this first thing that we're going to talk about is just the year in review. And so I wanted to give you guys some questions, and just kind of speak broadly and generally, we've got some specific topics coming, but just in general, what have been some things that you've enjoyed that have happened this year? Maybe some changes, maybe changes to like the UI, or like, just some of your favorite things that have happened. It's been, I would say, quite a year. And anybody jump right in and just, what's been your favorite?
The Cactuar and stat pot change, cleaning up 1,000+ inventory spaces. Best change of the year.
That was so good.
That was really, really good. And I think that would be really good to get more space, for the anniversary like we usually do. But that was definitely a big help to get the stat pots like condensed.
Yeah, unit management, inventory management, always been a huge deal, and it's only been the best it's ever been now, So if it gets better, cool. But what a great change! What a huge step in the right direction to keep it pushing, or we have more space all the time.
And speaking of more space, going up to 10 party slots was really handy. Like, there was always just not quite enough. You had like your few statics and then a couple that you had to kind of switch around a lot. So having those extra 5 just for those individual flexes for like the new crown stages and stuff is really handy for management.
What are some of the parties that you kind of keep going regularly, Dream?
So I kind of have like a general purpose strong team that I usually throw into like the unrestricted trial stages. Then I've got my fast farm team with like Cecil and Tyvus that preemptively kill things for story. I've got my Shard Dungeon team, 2 slots for Mog King and Raid, and then the second 5 I build up for like individual crown stages and trials and stuff as I need them.
Good deal. What other changes have we seen?
Actually,
Repeat battle for me.
Auto battle.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, right?
That's so good.
Yes.
I know it saved me a lot of time.
I've
Now,
been
if we
like
could just
crying
get it for
about it.
If we could just get it for raids as well now, that would be excellent.
And item world 2. Deus, what were you gonna say?
Actually, the most recent change, the item world or equipment dungeon got changed, and that's really helpful. Be able to keep your buffs and things like that.
Yeah, for sure. I haven't messed with it too much yet. I've been a little bit busy for the past couple of days, but I'm looking forward to that. I've got a couple Richt STMRs that are ready for me to power up.
Yeah, I honestly haven't even been running item world much in the last few months, partly just because people cap their main offensive stat very easily now. But I think this is going to start me getting back into it and actually improving some of my old rolls. So yeah, very nice change. It would just be nice if you could run through all the floors a little bit quicker, because there's still a lot of menuing to click through.
Oh, it's a ton, right?
Overall, very good
My
change
biggest
still.
with that was like not being able to select one unit to just like companion unit to just run it through. You have to like spend the time to at least click like, no, I don't want one, or yes, let me click this one. And I feel like it makes it take a lot longer. So I hope that'll be a
every
future
single
change
floor.
that we see. Yeah, it's 10 floors.
One question I kind of have for chat, I see that they made the monsters a little bit harder, right? Because I used to have a Tyvus auto team that would just blow past it. I wouldn't have to do anything. And then I did it yesterday, and he stopped auto killing on turn 3, like the 3rd battle. I'm like, oh, you only did 20%.
They are a little tougher. They're just a little bit tougher, but not too bad.
Right. So since we're kind of veterans, I was wondering if there's any new players in the chat, can they defeat the all 10 rounds? I don't know.
And if you have access to at least 80% breaker.
I don't think I've even lost an item world in a year probably. So the fact that like people are out here with like a lower power level, that they're a better metric than I would be for sure.
You said an 80% breaker, Deus?
Yeah, at least 80% breaks you should be fine. Maybe have like a 200% buffer or something, something cheap. Should be. I've done it in JP quite a while now on like really weak units, but they have like some buffs here and there, break here and there, and it's fine.
Yeah, and even if you're not going like a full auto berserk stuff, if you just have a couple like turn 1 LBs that chain together, that's gonna still wipe everything pretty comfortably.
Speaking of item war, I just found there's a way that Sinsar show us to make the prevented kill with the Berserker daggers, and then I find out that I sold both of my daggers. So sad face.
Oh dear.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah.
That's well, I guess if you really wanted to go crazy, you could respec your Ifrit to have the Berserker node on.
I won't do that because my Beast Killer will be lost.
Yeah.
Didn't they actually remove that node? They might have in JP at least.
Oh,
I'm not
yeah,
sure
yeah.
if it's come here, but I think because it was such like a troll and trap for new players, I think they actually removed it from the grid at some point.
Okay. Yeah. Actually,
Mhm.
chat's saying they removed it. So never mind. I'm dumb.
You know what could potentially work is if there was enough of a community request to add the Berserker materials to the guild shop the way the JP server does. That would be a huge quality of life convenience for global, and it wouldn't really influence power levels at all. So I don't really see like a problem with them saying no for that. But if they knew that players wanted the Berserk materials in the guild shop like JP, you could set 5 units Berserk, and it makes it very easy on this farm content like Item World, and that'd be amazing if they could bring that on over.
Bro, there's always the Berserk node on Ifrit.
No, there is none. That's what we just said.
I know. I wish it was there though.
Oh,
I'm living in a fantasy land. I just want it back.
I see. So yeah, community.
Anyway.
This is your opportunity. Spam them. We want those materials.
Mhm.
Well,
Another update, I don't remember if it was the last year, but the fact that you can spend now the 10 orbs on the arena,
Mm-hmm.
is that from the last year?
Yeah, I think that came in last anniversary. But
It was last anniversary, yes.
but still very appreciated.
Yeah, it was tedious to do all the... I always did the 5s, but now I all 10 already, so appreciate for that.
I've slipped back into forgetting to do arena again. I feel like we almost just need like a do chores button that will do your arena and turn over expeditions and stuff.
That'd
But
be nice.
maybe I'm just particularly lazy. Anyway,
Actually, I do the
we've
same
sort
thing.
of ignored the biggest change of the year so far, which is leader skills. How do we feel about those?
Ernest.
Well, I kind of wanted to hold leader skills for like our next section. But if you want to talk about leader skills, we can talk about leader skills because that is definitely a huge change to the year.
The one thing I'll mention before you close this segment, though, is the last thing that I'm thankful for is, and I think it was within the last year, is the global exclusive change to add the Esper Ore dungeons, because not only does it give us
I was going to comment on that.
it gives us a renewable source of Esper Ore, it also gives you a very easy place to dump your energy on like slow weeks, and I love that. I log in, I dump 200 energy in 30 seconds, and I'm good for the whole day.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Before we dive into units, I do have a couple other questions for you. One is that has there been any kind of like a specific event or a time period for the year, like a collab or a holiday season that you felt like was particularly good for the game the way it is right now?
I want to be
felt like
honest
they were
with
just-
you. I thought the anniversary was really good so far.
Yeah.
As far as rewards, I guess. I guess I'm kind of at odds with the anniversary, maybe, but it was better than I guess I was expecting it to be. The key thing is weird, though. I will say that not giving those keys out. Well, they're kind of hidden, right? But just weird. But I think reward-wise, fantastic.
I think what's if you're a new player, the key thing is less of an issue. A new player or a returning player, because they get just so many more of them. If you've been around for a while and you get your 7 total, it's just kind of a stingy thing unless you're getting them some other way. But like, yeah, I feel like locking celebratory content behind a limited resource is kind of a weird choice.
Yeah, there is definitely. I heard a similar vibe with the follow-up tickets from, was it 34th anniversary? There was an outcry of like, how come we don't get, like, why so many more for the longtime players? What about us new boys? So this kind of seems like the inverse of that in a weird way. where they tried to course correct, like, oh, the new players want more than the old players. Oh well, and now we have this situation. So it's kind of an interesting thing to reflect back on, to see that it might be like a source of course correction. But I definitely hear what you're saying, and I think there's merit to it for sure.
Yeah. Good questions coming up in chat. What about the glitched 70 summon banner? Did nobody like that?
I thought I was just going crazy because like I logged in and I was like, wow, I must have just done this on like a Wednesday and then a Thursday, and I just got them back to back. And then it happened again, and like I was kind of like, okay, maybe we're getting one every day.
So that banner was probably the best part of the anniversary of me, the glitch, because the third time pulling on the 70 pull banner gave me my first Black Flame Reagan. So that was my best anniversary pull, was on the glitched banner.
Heck yeah.
On the other hand, I think I had 2 or 3 days in a row with no envies from it, so it was a little awkward.
Yeah, one of my days was great. One of my days was absolutely terrible. So, it is what it is. But yeah, bonus units for everybody.
Going 0 for 3 hurt.
Yeah,
I went 0 for 3, so
that's rough.
Yeah.
For me, the best from the last year is absolutely the Riku counter.
You
definitely
definitely enjoyed that Riku counter, I can tell. How do you feel? Well, that's kind of sad though. So how do you feel about what happened to Riku's counters?
I actually feel that it was necessary, because the scoring Darbitions, which is the only competitive gameplay in this game, is going run to the dump, because Riku was destroying all the clears, and pretty much all the people who spend a lot to have high ranks on Darbitions have absolutely a bad time with that. So it was needed to fix it.
Yeah, I think making it fun and accessible for everybody is a good thing.
Yeah, from the perspective of someone who just happened to have never pulled Riku, I think it was pretty obvious that it wasn't very healthy. If you didn't have this one unit, you were automatically below everyone who did, and that just wasn't fun.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think overall it kind of had to be dealt with in the end.
For me, I think my personal favorite holiday this year was probably Thanksgiving, even though it's more of like a American holiday, but that was when we got the Nier banner, and I feel like 2B was one of the best units we've gotten all year long. She's still carrying her weight. I think she's still going to be useful going forward. So even though I'm not really a Nier fan, I still love 2B, because I think she was designed wonderfully, and I really enjoyed that because she was a great unit.
On the other hand, A2.
Oh no! Yeah, oh no! The other side of the coin.
But yeah, I mean,
hey, listen, she's got the hair. What else do you need, bro? It's okay. Just walk in there, slap some stuff. A2's doing her best.
Deus, we're gonna say something.
She's like kind of snatched right now. I don't know. That counts for something.
Speaking of holiday units, just a quick shout out to. I'm a big fan of Christmas Ayaka, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Like. I feel like she's a bit underappreciated, but yeah, I really like having that 100% AoE amp on a damage dealer is just really nice, and it's enabled quite a few ice teams where, like, even if you don't have many primary ice focused units, like with Rain's FFBE leader skill, you can put together a pretty good ice team with just a lot of elementless global exclusives. And yeah, I've really appreciated her as a unit a lot. Not to mention her card being great for all of these crown stages and stuff, with just a strong magic chain you can throw on anyone.
That is true.
Utility,
huge,
Christmas,
very big.
Piggybacking on Christmas, so I've been complaining about this for the past couple of years. I cannot stand. I obviously am about character design, like how they look and how cute they are and stuff. And I've been so disappointed by Christmas units, and they're like, it's one of my favorite holidays outside of Halloween. But I was so happy about the Christmas units this past season. They were amazing, and I may have screamed like a little girl when I saw them because I thought they were so cute. So I'm hoping we can continue to get cute stuff like that. I felt like the past couple of years is just like, here's a Santa outfit and a bag. Have fun.
Don't mock my Christine. That is my
Listen.
favorite unit.
Oh, no. Christine this was like the years after Christine and Kryla.
Mhm.
Okay,
I'm talking like,
If you are about to
just
attack
making
that
sure.
giant robot right now, how dare you?
I'm sorry.
Have you seen a more festive unit in your life than generic silver robot? I am going to need you to back up.
True story.
I'm sorry. I don't know anything. I'll see.
That's
I'll
my
sit
boy.
down.
I do see that. But
So
Christmas designs can be a bit one note, but it actually like works really well with Ayaka.
mhm.
Yes. And then the other one was Charlotte, right?
We did get a
think
Christmas.
That is a character, yes.
Yeah, we got one that looked like she was Christmassy. Yeah, Silent Night Charlotte.
Cute.
Yeah.
I think that was
Made
actually
my
just
heart happy.
coincidental that she kind of fit with Christmas.
hmm We'll take it.
Yeah, Luke is. Oh wait, who was the other one? I want to say
Levinson.
Levi. Yeah,
Yeah,
there we go.
mhm.
Levi. Close enough. Anyways,
Same
so yeah,
thing,
I was
it's a
super
nickname, you
disappointed
shortened.
by his. So that one made me sad that was like the unit for that year. I'm pretty sure. I was like, I'm not gonna
He
pull
has
on
a
this.
bag of toys. Come on.
But that's the whole problem. Is it's a Santa outfit and
Yeah.
a Santa bag, and that's it.
That's all Santa has.
You got a whole design team behind this, and that's what you're giving me? No.
Hey. They also came with Felix, even though we need to make Felix useful
Well,
for the
okay,
first time. It's not
I
even
thought that
Felix
was
again.
Yeah, I like Felix. Felix is fun.
I was gonna say my wall of nutcrackers made me say that. Just saying.
Got you. So before we dive too far back in the Wayback Machine and talk about previous year's units, I had one more thing I wanted to ask you guys about, and that is that this year, we got back to having an in-person fan event. So I know that that other than me and HK, that folks in this call were not there. But how do you guys feel like that is for the community, like to have in-person events again?
In-person events are good. It's just when they're only in the West Coast, the last few years, if there's been any, they've only been in the San Francisco or San Diego area because that's where their main hall is. And it kind of hurts because, East Coast here, and it's a little too expensive to go out there and stop on by.
Imagine being from Colombia like me.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Yeah, I've got no chance.
Yeah.
Bit of a flight.
I mean, like, I understand why they use, like, California, because it's easier for them to go from Japan to California than it would be other places. But I do agree that I think that they need to start putting stuff on the other coast again so that there's an opportunity for more people to be able to get there, especially because they like to do this garbage where they're like, here's 4 weeks, figure it out. And I'm like, half of us can't even ask for time off in that kind of period.
Yeah,
Like,
true.
how are you expecting people
Right, I was
to
gonna
buy
say
an
that there were-
expensive plane ticket to get to the other? No. So, yeah.
Yeah, there were two issues, right? The timing.
Mhm.
One, it kind of came out of nowhere, and two, it was invite only, which
Right.
sucked as well. So,
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just
I mean,
gonna say
it looked like it was
Louisiana,
a smaller.
Wisconsin. Hit up the
Right.
middle bitches. It's good.
Heck, I mean,
Yes.
they did France for a couple of
Alabama.
years, and I know we've got European players as well, and we've got a few French mainly. So, even one place in Europe should see some love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking is instead of just, once a year, some big blowout fan fest event, they should try to do some like smaller events. Maybe just send like one community representative from the company to like, I don't know, London or India or South America or, just, for people in those areas, and they can meet up. It doesn't have to be this big conference hall and huge event, just a small meetup at like a, a restaurant or something for 20 people. And it'd be really cool if they hosted that kind of stuff.
That'd be fun. I think that'd be really fun. I also would actually so obviously this is still really great to have in-person stuff again. I feel like that's going to kind of help people be a little more interested and involved. But I really would like to see us go back to like the Long Beach Fan Festa, where we had like months in advance and people could buy tickets if they wanted to come. So it was like open for everybody instead of this like lottery cherry pick system. And then like for people that couldn't make it but got picked anyways, like those tickets just went to waste. So I would like to see like the 28 Fan Festa business happen again.
Yeah, I'm against lottery. I have not won a single lottery yet.
Oh.
Even one where it's like an 80% chance, I still missed it. So, boo lotteries.
True. I never won the Powerball either.
I would really like to know, guys, for those who went to the event, what do you think about the place?
Like the location?
Yeah.
You go ahead, Garrett.
So I was gonna say I've seen a lot of people making comments about the place, like the saying that it kind of looked like run down and whatever. I will say that in the space it was really really well maintained, and it was like a shabby chic, like industrial rustic, like intentionally designed space. So like it kind of looked bad, but it was like good looking bad, you know, like inside it was really clean and well attended and
rustic.
Yes, rustic in the middle of LA.
Rustic.
I'm asking that because two things. The first one is that I compare the place with the previous anniversary. I think this one was a little small and dark, but maybe that's because from the stream seems like it was, I don't know. I don't want to say any bad word, but compared to the previous events, it was really no.
Are you referencing the New York one to this one?
All the previous, the previous. I think the last one was like 2 or 3 years ago. But yeah,
I think it was
two and 3 years. No, 2 and 3 years ago were both also in either San Fran or San Diego.
What was the New York one then? I thought that was an anniversary stream, or was that just like an intermittent?
That was like a special, like a anniversary meetup thing, but I think that was 2019 specifically. It was a bit.
Yeah, it was literally right
before
lockdown.
Right.
Okay, so I mean, I don't know. I guess I just don't have a problem with like them doing what they can. So I don't really want to like talk down on it when I feel like they're trying to like get everybody involved but don't know like community interest for in-person stuff again. So I feel like it's still a okay step. It wasn't like they put us in the middle of like the sketchy part of downtown, like walking around outside. I felt safe. I didn't see anything weird. It felt clean enough to me. And then like, I don't know if it didn't translate on stream, but they had like this beacon in the back of the room. So like when we were doing like the little meet and greet thing, you walk up there and like you were getting blinded in the face. You couldn't even look at it. It was so bright. So I don't know if maybe that just didn't translate on camera.
No, I mean, you could, just from all my experience, it was just, I think the place background itself just made the light go everywhere, and it didn't really look nearly as bright as it did. Because like when people walked in a certain spot, they got really bright and that way. And so, yeah, I think it was just that place really wasn't great for streaming something. Not saying it wasn't great for you guys or for that. It was just sometimes they don't mesh, and you don't know until you actually bring your gear there and go, well, this is the best we can do.
It did look really dark on the stream itself, like during the videos and stuff. In the room, it was pretty good.
One thing I saw mentioned in chat actually was they did that like digital meetup last year, and I think it could be cool to try some more of those because they're a bit more accessible for people who can't travel and stuff, or people in other countries. So it might be cool to experiment with that medium a bit more and stuff. Because I remember back in like 4th and 5th anniversary, they were like on the official live streams, they had segments where they brought in some community people for games, and stuff like that was cool as well. So I think it would be nice if they experimented a bit more with the digital meetup format.
Honor Sprenzel, you're right. There were definitely no snacks. that was a sad day.
Yeah, I was getting really hangry
Yeah.
at one point, so I was like, we need to go back to the hotel.
It's true.
Gert, you had said you wanted us to answer questions in chat.
Yeah.
And Titus is asking in chat, what do we think of the time Gumi does live streams?
Oh yeah.
Because the timing is bad for Europe. I personally think that a live stream for a global game, literally no matter what time you pick, it's going to be bad for a huge portion of the game because it's different for everyone. So they probably choose the live stream just based on player engagement population numbers. So I would assume that it's just a higher population in that time zone that is active in the game, and that's why they choose it, even though the unfortunate downside is some time zones are 2 a.m. or whatever for the live stream. There's just not a good way to handle that.
Real for that. You're actually so real for that. It is Europe's fault, frankly. I think they don't get enough blame, and they need to own that.
Somebody had to say it.
Stream though.
Sorry.
It's like
I'll be the brave one yet again. God bless America.
Go for it, Dream.
We got the villain. Saiyan Knight.
when it's just like a news stream without like too much community interaction like the regular monthly ones, it's like not really a big deal. Just watch the replay afterwards anyway.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I think it's really weird. This one, the one that's coming on Monday, like 7:30 in the afternoon or in the night on Monday. Like it's such an odd situation. Like I don't get it.
I missed the last one because it was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Well, that's because they were awake in LA.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's been your year in review. Unless there's anything else you guys want to throw out there and talk about, we can dive.
One more thing.
Yeah, please.
One more thing. I've been waiting for this for a while. There's someone in the chat asked like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
About raid orbs. They should be coming to 10. They should be soon. TM. They should be going to 10 orbs. So.
But that'll just make raiding take that much longer.
Oh, hear me out though. 10 orbs, but you burn them all at once like the arena.
Or
you're welcome.
The autoplay feature. Bam.
That would be nice.
True.
Yeah, just like the event farm one.
Yeah.
But
you're right.
On repeat.
Cut it to 1 orb, but 10 times the rewards. That'd be hype.
That I would be fine with. Yeah.
Girl. That too.
Girl, I'm thinking.
Girl.
Okay, so I think the thing that is gonna be the most fun to talk about this entire stream, other than just community in general, is gonna be units. And so in the past year, if we look at units from Sylvie and Vilk all the way up to now Elena and Richt, we've seen quite a lot this year, and I'm just curious for you guys what you think. How do you feel like units as a whole have changed and evolved over the year?
I think the biggest thing we've seen is very much like a standardization of damage dealers. Everyone has their single-use 150 amp to use the turn before their burst. All the mages generally have a 300% focus skill. Fill LB, they're very standardized, I feel like. And global exclusives thankfully do kind of break that mold a bit. But
that's
I
true.
was going to say Dream.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was going to say Dream stole my one point I was going to put here, and honestly, for me, it's just the only unit I look forward to because the kits are similar. The cow or the global exclusive units; those are the fun units. Those have the nice kits. Those are what make the game interesting. And honestly, that's what I really wish we saw more of, but obviously that's what we're getting from here on out.
Yeah, that's true. And I just wanted to call out, I think it's so great to see like so many of the units that we get for like Clash of Wills or global original units, they're so very obviously centered around being these like main stage centerpiece characters that you're supposed to build a team around, or like they're this big like focal point. But they kind of have a like free roam with it because these are characters no one's seen before. So I think it's really nice that when they introduced Reach as like a Genshin Impact tie-in, they were so respectful of his kit. That was really cool of them to do.
I would say that's true, with the exception of what Dream was trying to talk about earlier, which is leader skills.
I think one thing that has been improved significantly, if we're talking about JP units as well, is that the JP units have gotten significantly better over time. Because if you remember, like about a year ago, we were getting maybe 1 or 2 good JP units, then we get like 6 duds in a row, like the season 4 units, like, you know, Milo, Coralie, Mazurka, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
These days, we just don't really have like complete and total dud JP units. Like, we have them that aren't super interesting, like Trey, but at least Trey is good at what he does. We don't really have like the completely bomb JP units anymore. They've kind of stopped making these units that they know are just worthless right out of the gate, and that's nice. You know, there are some that are less useful, but there's none that are just immediately dumpster anymore, and I'm kind of grateful for that.
I was expecting to you say Coralie.
Let's not get into Sinzar's pronunciation of units. We could be here all day.
He's a treasure, and we love him for it. Okay.
So building on all this, so obviously our next FOMO thing has become leadership skills, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we all know that the cow and the global exclusive units are going to be half decent, right? If not meta units every single week. So what has made some of the other units more interesting? Say, like a Squall, because of his, you know, light leadership skill. Elena, not really a great character, but leadership skill. I mean, it's almost like we don't really care about kits anymore. Like Dream said, they're kind of standardized. There's nothing really standing out. But the new thing now is, let's just look at leadership skills. You know?
Who's everyone's favorite leader that they have right now currently?
Listen, brother, my leader's been Queen the whole time, and I ain't changed, so I don't know what to tell you.
You don't care if she doesn't have a good leader skill. You're just gonna keep her. That's fine.
She doesn't have good skills in the first place. Killed it all with her. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of a hard question to answer because, like, best unit that has a leader skill, I would say Richt, but he's not really going to be your leader. So, like, who is the best that you're taking specifically for the leader skill? I would say probably Flaring Rain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Right,
I've
Rain.
pretty much been using Rain as my leader everywhere because I don't have some of the other ones. But I
Rain
think
for normal and Elena for cow, right?
That's right. Elena, baby.
Yeah, the coverage of the FFBE general tag is just ridiculously good.
Seeing some options coming up in chat. You know, Rain or Elena, Ace. You know, people are saying, you know, Rain plus Genesis makes things easy. You know, lots of things, lots of stuff coming up here. Nobody's saying Laswell though.
Just for
But you know
saying
what chat is
That's
saying? Belfagor
a big
saying
L.
Queen's and Babe,
Last
100,
L.
Queen meta hype.
I'm
My
over here
king.
with Ibarra. I'm just like,
Hey, Ibarra
naming
is a good leader though. For the right team, she's a great leader.
Just
I
for
just
naming
need-
a different leader, I say Squall because it's the best leader for to be outside of Clash of Wills.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think in general, like, maybe less so in Clash when you need every unit to be quite high quality, but especially in DV at least, I feel like leader skills have actually increased team building diversity quite a lot, which is nice. And it sort of links to what Sin said as well about most damage dealers coming out of JP. They're kind of, yeah, they might be sort of one note and only really do one specific thing, but they're all sort of competent enough. So you just assemble, if you've got a few of those that all assemble under the same leader, you can put together kind of quite a few different teams depending on what you've got and all have them perform pretty well. So in that way, it's kind of good.
And
Go ahead.
I think for now the categories for the units may become a really useful thing because, for example, Ace pretty much works like a pretty dead unit. Nobody is going to pull with him, but they release Rich and Elena, that are the units that use that leader skill outside of Clash of Wills. So maybe they keep still making the new categories that will come, like the lightning category, Rebel, I think is his name. And pretty interesting depending the new units that Global releases.
What about you, Deus?
I'm looking forward to Lightning when she comes up. She's gonna have an insanely good leader skill with a lot of good characters on it, including the OG Cloud, the newer Cloud, quote unquote newer Cloud, and all those kind of characters. So Lightning is definitely gonna be very valuable. And even even in Clash Wills, even outside of Clash Wills, she's gonna be top tier damage.
So speaking of that, Global, when we got the Blessing of the Crystals, they did go through and like backfill that category on a few units, like Elena, Wilk, etc. Do you think they're going to backfill the Rebellion category on any Global units?
That would be nice.
They have to.
Interesting.
If they do not, they would have to continuously remove it every single patch, every single maintenance. So they have to do it.
Well, I think he's meaning specifically, like, will it be added to any global exclusives? And I can't really think of any that, like, it canonically fits with that well, but there might be.
No. You got to think outside the bun on this one. Morgana.
See, the catch there is we would have to know the lore behind these global exclusive characters to know what categories they would fall under. And I know at least one person is in the chat is gonna be like, yes, lore, but there it is, precursor tag. There's Barry, right on schedule. And that would be really key to us knowing, where these categories might backfill into.
It would have to be any season 2 character, I would think, right?
Well, there's some characters that I like to see come back, just for lore purposes. Like it'd be interesting to see a new Shui Yu with maybe a kit this time would be really cool. And then I think it'd be really fun to see if we got like again Morgana coming back as a Neovision base would be that'd be cool. More pro tags. I would really like to see like maybe a Yoshikiri that does damage, because apparently that's what people wanted when he came out, and they seem to have been disappointed for some reason. That'd be really high.
Yeah, I'd like to see him be more relevant again.
Yeah,
Christine, Krylov, give it. Yes.
Yeah.
True.
Honestly, like all the story unit stuff, like when they had the big story event thingabobbers. Anyways, I would like to see units that were just like, 4-star out the gate and now they're absolute trash. I would like to see units like that start to get worked back in some way, so that they're not just like useless garbage sitting in your inventory. You know what I mean?
Heck, even 3 stars, like, Domino got a story. You know what? I want a Ruggles.
That'd be great.
Ruggles.
That'd be fantastic.
And I want to see another Lunera and Brand. And we have great lore on those, and they have been so stuff like that is exactly what I want to see. Oh yeah, Hayate, that's another good one, Jigs.
So here's a question I have. Oh, go ahead, Deus, and then I'll go.
Speaking of Lauren, she does get some buffs. I don't know if they're gonna come to global, considering we still have Carlet, but Lauren does get some buffs, and they're pretty decent.
Pour one out for Carlet. So here's the question I have for you guys. How do you, as players who are, playing this game at whatever level you're playing it at, make decisions about, who you want to use and what content, how you want to use them to clear content? Like, how do you make those evaluations as players for you guys?
I'd be happy to open this one. Is it Queen? Yes. Is it not? Off the team.
For me, is it cute? No. Okay, it ain't on the team. Thank you.
So
is
cuteness?
it Envy No, then I've still got 2 full teams of Envy Terras, and I just try to use them because that's what I get.
My brother, we're the only ones winning out here.
For me, it's like a priority system. The units I pull for are, first of all, is it good in Clash of Wills? If so, absolutely pull. Then is it going to be good in trial content? The very few that we do get, I still like to have good units for it. Then I'll go for it. And then I basically never pull for exclusively Dark Visions units, but if one is like so beyond all the others, like Genesis was, then I'll like use tickets for them and hope for the best. And you know, it worked out this time, but I wouldn't like hard pull for a Dark Visions exclusive unit.
I just pull for the waifus.
So, queen, cute, waifu, Clash of Wills.
Yeah, and then I'm very much in the middle of doing a juggling act of trying to balance having a decent team for like the ranking content, and then also pulling for some stuff that I like Ace and Chizuru and stuff, and also just juggling being poor.
Yeah, as I say, all my teams are FF6, so.
FF6. So picking one based on a series that you like. Okay. I dig it.
Me, it depends on the bank account. I'm a collector. I want them all.
King,
So-
you're so real. That's huge. No, you're so real for that. Premium, not premium, matters. That does matter. Especially when EX stars are like a relevant factor in content clearing. That's actually so big.
These past few months with like 6 premiums in a row has been rough.
Well, you know, there's always refinancing the house.
There really was a string there, though. I mean, starting with Ibarra, it was just like premium. Then Anniversary was like, here's 4 premiums at the same time. You know,
Right, here's more.
Yeah,
We know you love premiums.
those are nice vision cards, though.
Listen, they got to pay for Ariana Grande somehow. They're still working off that debt, I'm sure. Katy Perry, yikes. I don't know, bro. A lot of fees.
Probably an expensive investment. So one thing that I want to throw out for the community and chat, and for all of you guys too, just because I'm sure I hope you guys listen to them because I find them really interesting when it happens, is that Sinzar has been doing these like late night Clash of Wills unit reviews. I love them. I mean, I stay up till 3 sometimes waiting for them to pop out just so I can sort of catch them, because I really enjoy just listening to them. So big shout out and thank you to Sinzar for doing them. Have you enjoyed doing those, Sinzar?
Yeah, it's fun. Taking a look at a unit for the first time, a global unit, I can take a look and try to gauge, and then it's always fun, to find out, a week later, oh, I was so wrong about something. but it's definitely fun to get a first look, and the global units are definitely the most, in my opinion, the most interesting thing about global is our units. So when a new one comes out and it's announced, and we get to see like a little teaser during the live stream a few days earlier, and then just seeing the whole kit, and then seeing, is this going to be an amazing unit like Melissa was, or is it going to be something like Eldrin where you pull for the sprite and just that's it?
Ooh. Okay.
Now,
a little cloudy here, getting some shade coverage. Okay.
Titus says
real
in the
quick,
chat. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, has there ever been a unit where you've kind of missed the mark, you think, yourself, and have gone back and pulled for or not pulled for?
Probably the one that I got the most flack for is Carton.
There it is.
Because when Carton came out, I looked at him and then we saw the kit and I did some math, and then we saw that his damage was less than the units at the time. I forgot who they were, but he was overall not the top burst damage dealer. But as it turns out, he was the top burst damage dealer on turn 1. And because 90% of the game is turn 1 content, that ended up being a bigger deal than people let me live down. So that was probably my biggest whoops, was Carton.
I'm on level with you, kings and queens. I just pull for every unit, can't miss. I don't know.
Same.
Hell yeah.
Who
got them
has
all?
that kind of
Use them all.
lapis?
My brother.
Okay, I'm gonna knock on.
I got a whole system. Don't worry, there's days.
Visa,
My-
MasterCard,
My
American
pull
Express?
luck is stupid. Not gonna lie.
That's what I'm.
The only
get
one
it.
I've had a
so
serious
real,
problem with was the first Ibarra. Holy crap.
So
Wasted
it's
everything.
and stealing
didn't
all
get
my
it.
luck.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'll lend it back to you.
I am notoriously unlucky within our community.
Don't worry, Dream. You can crush her in the game show in a few minutes.
Yeah,
We'll
you
see.
I will say though that
put me in my place.
I think Sinzar stole all of our luck for Richt. That's for dang sure.
Yeah, okay, I haven't.
Gert,
Oh,
I feel
yeah.
bad for you.
Well,
The Rick pulls went real nice.
They were very nice.
I got EX2 Richt and I didn't even pull in his banner.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay,
wow,
so
y'all playing
the
Genshin out here. I love this for you.
guaranteed envy unit pull
Mhm.
with the 10 tickets, I pulled the new Elena
I got 2 of them
this
from there.
morning.
Nice.
Wow.
I was like, wait, what pull am I on?
Yeah.
It was nice. It's nice.
Yeah.
So far, I have not pulled Alina or Richt, and I think I'm in a very small minority of that.
Mm,
I'm sorry.
mhm.
Is that intentional, or is that you've tried and just not had any luck?
And
I think
now
she
I've
saw
just
your
been
video.
doing I've just been doing tickets and dailies so far. I'm still up in the air about whether or not to pity one. I do have just enough for
Mhm.
one pity,
Mm-hmm.
but because their
Mhm.
banners are so long, I'm waiting and seeing. Because yeah,
Mm,
my opinion on Alina very much depends on whether we get another 750 clash leader.
Mm.
Because I think her actual kit is pretty basic. Like it's not bad, but it's doesn't do anything too interesting, I don't think. So yeah, if I could get a 750 leader on someone else, I would probably prefer that.
Mm-hmm.
mhm. Well, I didn't
Just
pull
a
him
big-
either. If it makes you feel better. So
It's just
Same
a
boat.
big gamble of whether or not that comes up.
So here's
So
going to
you-
be a
so you're-
controversial. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
So you are expecting for the Clash of Wills units of this month having a 750 liter skill?
Mhm.
I wouldn't say expecting, but waiting and seeing.
Because I think they won't release 750 to all stacks for Clash of Wills for like 3 or 4 months. I think that's the main point of pulling for Elena.
Yeah, probably. But the banner should at least last long enough to get a look at whoever's
Oh, yeah, that's
next,
true.
which is strongly theorized to be Malphasy based on the elements.
And the
There,
killers.
there are definitely 2 pugs on the screen right now. I just want to make sure you all see that. We've got puppers in the chat.
Annie, and then in the back, that's Tibbers.
I love it.
They
Fantastic.
demanded food,
Well,
so sorry.
that is what they do. So I'm gonna hit you guys with a controversial question, I think maybe, and at least one that I think is gonna give us a lot of good conversation. What units do you think that we got in the past year, whether we're talking about Neos or NVAs, stand out as particularly good for the average player in the global community?
Esther.
I think Rain is an obvious one just because his leader skill covers so much and you can just
Mhm.
make a lot of good teams with him even if your unit roster's a bit lacking.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So he'd be a pick for me.
I'd say it'd probably be Ibarra just because she's your all-in-one everything. She's your leader. She's like a chainer. She's a damage dealer in Clash. She's a damage dealer in Trials. She's amazing for both. She's got self killers. You don't even need a killer buffer for most elements or most races. She's high damage. She's good. She gears easily. Really, like she's just like the all-in-one unit for a newer player. She'll carry you for everything, just about.
I actually in my FFBE tiers that I make with my community, I have something called the Holy Trinity, which is Melissa, Sylvie, and Abigail. Those 3 maybe don't have any damage, but at the end the damage is not the main thing. I think the support is really most important than the DPS. We can still having new units as DPS, but units that replace Sylvie, Melissa, or Abigail are hard to release for part of game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I would agree that they're outside of leaders because you can be flexible with those. They would pretty much be overall the 3 most useful units in the game.
I mean, there's always Queen. I don't know. That's an argument we could have, but I don't know, brother.
I want to say something really controversial.
Do it.
Mhm.
Snowvinka is trash.
Well, yes,
Bold
but
take.
not.
Agree. No, here's right.
Why do you
Least
say she's
controversial.
trash? Tell us why you
I
think she's
think-
trash.
I think the only main point of having a Snowblinka is if Gumi decides to keep the mission for the Chamber of the Arms. to clear with season 4 only, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Because Earth Team doesn't have many useful units at this point, and that's the main purpose of her having the little skill for the Earth units.
But if we don't have that content, does that matter?
She's trash.
Yes,
I like her. I like her a lot.
Yeah, it's kind of strange. Some of these units, like that Global, just completely neglects. Like, I'm sure the developers realize that units like Sanavlenka, etc., are just so far behind our current meta that a simple numbers buff would make them relevant. Same as they did for like Arden and Noctis back in the day. You know, those were kind of underwhelming for their meta at the time. So Global just made a very simple modifier boost, and all of a sudden they were amazing. So they could have done the same thing with Snavlenka. They could have just added like a 200x modifier to her LB, and now she's a valuable pull. But I'm not sure why they just don't.
Even just what they did with Squall, potentially up her leader skill to 600, that'd help.
For sure.
I just don't enjoy. I will say this is a trend of units that I've seen in the past year that I just don't really enjoy, and that is that they are good for damage one time, and then they just like fall down.
Yeah,
so units like Sylvie, who can keep your party doing the 100% amp, more than once. Melissa more than once. All these units that can do damage one time really well, and then afterwards you're dealing with at best, a 60% amp. It's rough.
Yeah.
Kind of piggyback at that, if I might. I do have to wonder, do you feel it's a problem for the unit design, or is that a problem for the content design where everything is centered around doing one Sledgehammer Test Your Might Carnival game and then just like slugging it out for 400 turns with 30 billion HP enemies?
I think it's a consequence of DV being the main thing in JP and them not having Clash.
Oh no, I'm including Clash of Wills. I'm talking about just having like a score associated with doing one big attack or whatever. Like that whole concept to me has always been kind of like, when you go to get a watermelon and you have like to knock on it and you can tell if it's sweet or not because it sounds hollow if it's really, you know what I'm talking about? It's when you pick up produce. Like if when you go and you want to like do a trial, you got to like evaluate, and like when you knock on the trial, if it sounds kind of hollow, you're like, ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, I feel like Clash of Wills and Dark Visions having that like score system in the first place, that's kind of a thick watermelon. There's no hollow there. You know what I'm saying? That ain't sweet.
I like that we've upgraded from coconuts to watermelons.
I almost brought up the coconuts, and I know people don't want to hear it for the third year in a row, but I'm still on the coconuts. I promise you. I swear to God.
I don't even know where you go from coconuts, though.
Coconuts, chat.
I mean, I
was
the
just
watermelon.
switching his words from watermelons to coconuts in my head.
Yeah.
I just wanted to shake it up. I have a lot to say about coconuts. I cannot believe the root ball. I'm not doing it. But I have a lot to say.
That's a whole other stream.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it right now, but believe me, I got.
Visit an SK stream and you'll get the whole rundown on the coconuts.
They're the deceivers of the food world. They lie.
It's at least 3 streams, not 1.
Yeah,
we
that's
can't
right.
lie.
Okay, fair.
What do you guys think about units though, like Golbez, XDeath, other NVAs that have their uses? Like I've gotten a lot of use out of Selfie on like just some budgety type stuff. What do you guys think about NVAs this year?
I think most of them have been pretty bad, but even the Meteor ones have been nice, but that was an accident. They didn't intend for them to be good. That's thanks to Dazzling Demoness. But yeah, like they're basically there at this point just to fill out those series locked stages, I feel, and bonus units and whatnot.
Yeah, they're bonus.
A lot of them are very underwhelming. And the one, like the couple that we've seen that actually do have some uses, like Carlet's NVA and Medina's skill upgrades, have been delayed or cut for us, which is pretty sad.
There will be a pretty strong Evolution Awakening coming, hopefully. the X-Star.
Oh
the
yeah,
Vision
he's
Weapon for
a
X-Star,
rare
he's quite
exception.
powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely
I-
seems like their design intention is for Neo Vision Awakenings to just be not useful or only for brand new players. The ones that are useful, as mentioned, they seem to all be mistakes, like the Dazzling Demoness plus a JP unit that never had that intended, or like the Axe Star. Like, I swear to you, I feel like they didn't realize they accidentally made that finisher multicastable. It's supposed to be a one use only,
Yeah.
not a multicastable,
I-
and that's why
yeah,
he does.
I was gonna point out
Yeah, crazy
the same
damage.
thing. It feels like JP has several times in the past where they have these unlock for one use skills. They don't realize that that skill can still be used multiple times in a multicast for that one turn. Because
I
like
want to be that
I remember
guy.
I think
Immunofina was one who performed like surprisingly well at the time, and it was because of that same trick of being able to quadcast a supposedly unlock for one use skill. So yeah, I feel like Axstar's NVA was probably an accident.
I'm gonna say
think-
they probably knew exactly what they did, and it's not that deep. I'm just gonna be that guy right now. I bet they did it on purpose.
But that would like just go so far against their design though, because like I said, for a year all the damage dealers are just terrible, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, Axstar is doing literally more damage than the premium on his same banner.
Yeah. Well, if we'll remember, when Axstar the original came out, he got outscaled on his own banner too. So, are we gonna say that's unusual? I mean, let's be honest. But
I
I think they probably meant to do it. I'll be honest with you.
They haven't done it for us yet.
Because they can fix it. They can change it. I didn't see them change it. So
I think the main problem with the NBA units is that they are designed for the JP version, and given the fact that global units are more powerful for a bunch, making even worse. If you remember, I think that the solution for that is that global start to do again MBAs for the global units, such as, for example, MBA Elena, that was really useful for like 5 or 6 months, but they stopped to do that. So maybe we are with the same JP MBAs that are pretty useless in global.
I think the best ones are the ones that do what you're talking about, though, that provide, big support to your team, like letting them do like Elena's big AoE 100% resistance buffs, for example, or units that come with killers,
or Kryla.
Kryla is another really great example as an NVA, not the original version, as Sinzar likes to point out. But yeah, it's just I like those. I like Folka's another example. Normally, like at this point we don't really care too much about healers, but like Folka can do a lot for a new player. So I don't know. Alrighty.
yeah, NVAs have always been in that situation where they're outshone because they're financially not good. No, there's no like Gumi doesn't make money on them, so it stands to reason they would be generously very bad because they don't make any money. So like no one's out here like, whoa, Envy Folka, open the wallet. Like that's just not gonna, you know what I mean? Or like you NVA Queen, time to refinance the old house. Like that's not.
No,
taking
you
place.
would refinance the whole house if they had a
Okay,
better
I
Envy
would,
Queen.
but other people wouldn't.
Well,
I would do.
we wouldn't need to
different.
at this point. So, well, if an NV Queen came out, yes, that would be different. Sorry.
Skip, different unit. Nope.
Okay.
OG Queen for me only.
Okay.
Just give her higher numbers. Buffer. You want even meta? 800 mod limit burst. Best unit in the game. Instant. Change
Boom.
one number. It's
Before
that easy.
Before we move on to something else, does anyone have anything else they want to add about units?
Yeah,
in
the queen
regards-
has. No, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
in regards to like the NBA stuff, I don't. Okay, if I'm doing this wrong, do not make fun of me. Holy crap! But anyway, so there have been a couple units that I've noticed where if you have like an old version of it, you can't convert it into the oh my god, words are failing me. You can't convert them.
unit fragments.
Words. Yes, thank you. I'm so sorry. Anyways, you can't convert them into fragments to use them on the NVA unit. Like, where's one? It's a little dude.
If you're talking about the event units like Fran and stuff, those are intentionally not intended to be fragmented. But if you mean like units that are just new Visions Awakenings, you probably have it either in Item World, Arena, Friend Slot, Dark Visions, Clash of Wills, one of those extra parties, and then it won't allow you to fragment while they're in any kind of party. Or if they're in a saved party as well, it won't let you fragment them.
Yeah, because I've had like
the 3 and 4 star base units.
Yes,
like Gao and Scythe and stuff. They can't be converted to fragments until they're awakened to 5 star, and then they can be converted. And it's a really awkward system.
We get that question in Facebook all the time.
This, like right now, it's been stupid and annoying to me. But thank you for the education. Hopefully that educated someone else in the chat.
Like I said, we get that question in Facebook all the time, so I'm glad somebody brought it up.
Okay, great.
That's awesome.
I had no idea.
Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about is trials that we've seen over the year, and so I've got some pictures here that we're gonna kind of talk about different categories and stuff like that of trials. And the first one that I want to talk about is for people who have played JP and people who have played global, which is all of us. What are some?
I have done that.
What are some differences that we've seen of the same content in both versions of the game?
Oh Lord, the content on global is so heavily power crept as opposed to it coming on JP, and it's just a factor of global just has most of the stuff JP has, and then a bunch more on top. So even if we got it at the exact same time in the schedule, it would still we just have more options. Like that's just all there is to it. Like we have things like Richt, Elena, Ibarra, Abigail, while on JP you're using like Cecil and Snovlinka to kill on the content. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So even not counting the time difference of sometimes they're delayed even further on global, it's just so many more options. So it just makes it easier as a side effect.
And I think one of the big factors of that we sort of were starting to touch on earlier in the units is a lot of global exclusive damage dealers have a much better sustain options and also elemental flexibility, so you can much more easily bring a strong chaining pair, and we often see the pattern of being able to alternate an LB chain and regular chains that fill LB, or even if you have enough external LB support, being able to use that every single turn. So that gives us much better sustained damage options, whereas like JP units much more focused around that single burst, and especially all SLB units don't really have good sustained damage usually.
True.
So I think that's a big deal of what changes that power level for trials.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was going to say, playing a little bit of JP, it's so much different, as Sinsar said. Some of the, and I don't have my camera on, but I'm putting air quotes on trials are.
I got you.
Oh, Esther. Thank you. Esther's out there. Oh, she can because she can't be touched because lightning and all that, and so at this point, we really need to see a lot more. The global trials now is your cowboys. That's your global trial. Everything else is, just not there.
The Grace trial, the new Grace trials are pretty decent overall. They actually have a bit of a variety of mechanics, and them being split into 3 waves sort of challenges a bit more, especially when we have so many like single-use Magnuses and stuff. It means you can't just full send everything. You have to handle a couple of the waves with lower power levels.
I think what's interesting about them,
that they make pretty good fights.
They are, and I think what's fun about them from a global perspective, I can't speak for this for JP, but like, we have options that you don't have to take the units that line up with that element specifically. So like, for example, taking Ibarra to the Grace of Flame trial, for example. It's just fun.
And that has made them a lot easier, again, that elemental flexibility.
I was having a conversation with Flip actually once, and Flip is in the chat, so I'm yelling at him a little bit. He was talking to me about how, like, JP trials, people are willing to go 30, 40 rounds on something, whereas global players are not willing to go more than 5 turns for whatever we're doing, and so it's like just different styles of play, and I think that the differences in units account for that too, because they don't need to just do everything in 5 turns when players are willing to wait a little longer.
30 or 40 turns in JP. You must not have seen my 1,000+ turn clear on quite a few of the JP trials recently.
I have not
you think
seen
that's
that.
interesting? You should see my turn counts using Ariana's to clear old trials. God bless.
I just don't have the attention span for that. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, those types of
goldfish.
clears,
Valid.
those types of
straight up.
clears are generally like setting up an auto repeat that can just go indefinitely, and then you just wait.
Yeah, I think my longest manual clear was actually the Evil Princess trial, the Chamber of Arms that we're currently delayed on global.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was like 240 turns, and that was all manual. You could not repeat that one. You had to play every turn. It was like 240 turns. It was ridiculous, but I won. I did win.
That's gonna be fun.
That is a huge feat.
Hell yeah, King.
For real. I would not.
Oh, you have huge feet?
I do
What?
really hope that
No.
that trial releases soon for us, though.
I think for me it's important to say about the trials that it's very different depending on the experience that the player has with the game.
Mm-hmm.
Because, for example, since I is telling about the Bialqua trial, it took like 200+ turns, but he knows what Bialqua is doing every single turn. Imagine someone that goes to explore the boss for itself. How many turns will it take? So I think in global, players are not really needed to know about what the boss does, because the units are so strong that you can enjoy the game pretty much and clear it with the turn count limit without knowing everything around the boss does. For example, now with the rich meta, we can blow up in one turn the Dart trial, the Fire trial, but maybe someone who take Rick but doesn't know what the trial does can take around 15 turns, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the pretty balanced experience for all the players.
And I think that's the nice thing about permanent
that's why
content.
that's why, for example, myself, I like to know what the boss does, but I always bring one less unit, for example. That's my style.
Mm-hmm.
I don't bring any friends, but I like to know what the boss does.
So
I think.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think the nice thing about permanent content is that you can, like, people can, if it's too much for them on release, wait for power creep and stuff and take a new approach later on when there's better options. And I think because of that, it would be nice if they were less afraid to release stuff that was like really hard on release but permanent.
Like the original Marlboro Global trial,
Mm-hmm.
one of the best trials. You were so happy when you beat it, and actually that's why I love Christine. She was the person that unlocked it for me.
Yeah. I mean, another example of that, I guess, is almost Chamber of the Vengeful, the new Morgana we got after last anniversary, and sadly have not seen any new ones of.
Very sad. Very sad. So we got obviously we've gotten the Grace trials, and that was one that I wanted to talk about. And the other thing that we've seen, which I think has basically been invalidated by the existence of global units, has been the 12 types trials. Really fun for getting killers and stuff, but when you can take 2B and whatnot to this, you can wipe out units. I mean, you can definitely one-shot all of those.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, even on release, like, sure, it was needed some specific units to get like the right element set up, but they were very simple and kind of boring trials, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But I am glad that they just made a killer plus of every race available. That was very nice.
For sure.
As a side effect.
Well, it's kind of difficult, I think, from their perspective, from the Ugumi and Alan perspectives, where like if a fight doesn't have that many mechanics, it's automatically kind of boring and whack, just because like It sort of has to be. And then if there's too many mechanics, players are so offensively and defensively cracked that the only way a challenge can be like difficult is if like it bypasses and ignores every mechanic every player has ever had access to: provoke, death immunity, ribbons, cover, like whatever. So like there's not a lot of wiggle room on that. There's like not that many levers they can pull to like go from minimal mechanics to what if it was random stuff that kills you on 3 turns out of every 5 turns just because like oops, you rolled the dice wrong. And that's like such a, you know what I mean? So like I think maybe the like simple trials are like kind of optimal, because I don't know about y'all, but like the Clash of Wills ones where it's like, hey, why did I die in turn 6 this time? Oh, it did some AoE uncoverable, unavoidable, you know. Like I feel like that's worse, right? Like it's like not a good feeling.
I'd actually have to
think
go for it.
I think Clash of Wills is actually trying to solve that problem a little bit. I am telling that from a perspective that a player that always got their rank 1. I have so many players in my community that they feel like happy, for example, clearing only the level 90, or for example doing with only 10 levels. I forgot. How do you say the
EX16 EX levels?
EX levels. Completing only with 10 EX levels, for example, because many of them are low spenders and they don't have always the units to EX3, EX2 to clear it. So they really, some of them, of course, are happy to give that kind of concept in Clash of Wills. But for many of us that always do the rank 1, we maybe don't see that point of view. So but yeah, still the trials has this kind of imbalance. Most of these era where we have the difference between EX1 and EX3, full party is pretty way different than EX1 party, for example.
So I want to talk a little bit about both Clash of Wills and Dark Visions, and what you guys sense of is how both Clash of Wills and Dark Visions have evolved over the span of the year. You know, 2 different game modes. They're both semi-competitive, one more than another. But like, and to SK's credit, you know, targetable, measurable criteria for how you score. How have we seen it evolve over the year?
I'm going to be the brave one to say it. Dark Visions is literally Earthshrine. It's the same gameplay experience. I can go in with like a cover tank with full elemental resist and just power up some units for 5 turns and dunk on an Earth Rat for max damage cap, and I can do the same thing and get rank 1 in Dark Vision. It's the same gameplay experience. Like you could just tap the Earth Rat and it would die, and sure, but in terms of executing, like, oh, I want to build up and be like 4th turn kill, baby, big damage shot, you can literally do that in Earthshrine anytime you want. It's not different. So has it evolved? Yes. Has it evolved into something that you couldn't just do in Earthshrine? No.
I was going to say that it feels like it's really becoming not the case anymore. It's only really recently in the last few months, but the Dark Vision's final bosses seem to have started doing a lot more stuff that is actually like somewhat threatening and hard to deal with. Like maybe not just for surviving, but for juggling those other categories like damage taken. You actually have to be quite strategic on how long you're setting up burst versus how much of their stuff that you're dealing with now. And yeah, I think there's actually cases where like you might be okay with sacrificing some of the other categories to have more damage set up now, and I think that makes it a bit more interesting.
So from my aspect, I've always liked Cow, but over Dark Visions, because to me Dark Visions is you're going to the last boss, you're just re-rolling continuously trying to get the highest score, and that's really annoying. Where Cow, you can have more fun. Usually, lately it's not been the case. You can have a fan favorite of your unit in there. Now it needs to be pretty much fully optimal. And you know, earlier in the year, I think Cow was simpler, and maybe it wasn't as fun for some people, and that's fine. But me being able to bring in other units that weren't the top base, and trying
Right.
out different ones were a lot more fun because I could still rank 1 with those. And so with that, that's kind of what I don't like. It's now getting impossible to rank 1 without having maybe not the newest units, but I can't bring in 1 or 2 1.5, 2-year-old units unless if they're like, Sylvie. She's now a year old, she doesn't count. But other than that, though, that's where I dislike it. Kao I thought was fantastic, but now I think it's getting just a little too hard, and you're focusing a little too much.
I think for the most part, I don't really find that to be an AI problem or anything with the actual like design and skill sets. I think some of the bosses have just been a little overstated, like a bit less HP and defenses and stuff, and you would still have a very like fun and engaging fight on your hand, but yeah, just with a bit more leeway to hit that score.
Exactly.
But I think being able to hit that cap and perfect score is still Clash's biggest strength over DV, and DV's biggest problem is being uncappable and thus creating variance reroll needs and stuff, and also just having all of those like basically chore stages to get through first.
You're so real for calling them chore stages.
I would like to know before saying anything, to Censar, I want to ask you something. Dark Visions is the only content on the JP version, and the JP version is still up. So for me, if this game was only Dark Visions without Clash of Wills, I'm not pretty sure if the game in global is still up. So what is the perspective of Dark Visions in the JP server, Censor? They enjoy a lot?
For me, honestly, no. I have mostly lost interest in the JP version because, like, the whole reason I'd play the JP version is for, like, an early look at trial content, and that's what I would love. I would love to do the trials on, we talked about this a minute ago. The trials are just the fact that they're harder on the JP version. The same fight, but just because of the environment, it's a harder experience on the JP version. And I used to enjoy that. Dark Visions it's just not my thing. It's just, you set up, and like I said, the bosses are mechanically simple. They are getting more interesting slightly, but it's still, you have to add an extra mirage, or you have to add an extra immunity buff on turn 3, stuff like that. It's still very easy to neutralize a Dark Visions boss. And I don't enjoy that. So on JP, I just have basically stopped doing Dark Visions. I now turn 1 OTK everything, including the final boss. And this month I didn't even get into Dark Visions Abyss because I just turned 1 OTK'd everything. I got like rank 7,000, and who cares? I just accepted it.
Yeah, because I feel like Dark Visions is not for us. It's like something that is immersed to the JP players, and maybe because it's a different culture of the gaming. I don't know if that's correct to say, but I think if JP version only has Dark Vision as the main content, because there's not too much trials, it's not like something for global, I feel like Gumi don't take any action on it because they don't care, and it's because it's mainly make Dark Visions for a different kind of a community. For the other hand, Clash of Wills is more our preference. You say Dream, that many of us like to cap. The only mechanic to cap is pretty fun to us. It has like a goal for us. So speaking of Dark Visions, for me, it's not made for the global players. It's something that the game brings because it has to, but it's not something for us. I know some players do like Dark Vision because I actually have a couple of them in my community, but it's like from every 10 persons, 1 of them like Dark Visions.
No, I agree with that assessment for sure.
Yeah. And speaking of Dark Visions Abyss, that would be something that would be nice for us to get, because I think it showed, at least from what I saw of it in JP, a bit more of like the potential of what Dark Visions could be, where they were actually like a bit more interesting of a boss and engaging. And the big thing is that more than one score category mattered. Like, current DV is very much just about the damage dealt score, and the other 4 are like little bits on the side. And I think a version of Dark Visions where you're actually trying to balance all 5 categories and like choose which one you want to focus on to get more points in and stuff, that could actually be a really interesting type of content, but it's sort of wasted potential. But this would show a little bit more of that, so it would be nice to not skip that, even if it isn't in like the whole ranking locked format and stuff that JP did. Just getting those bosses would be nice.
About Dark Visions Abyss, I thought at first that that was the solution for Dark Visions until I saw that still players that all the Dark Visions Abyss has been one-shotted. So it's only a little harder to do. And if you don't do that, it becomes a trial. But if you have enough power, Genesis, to do it, the Dark Visions Abyss is still like traditional Dark Visions. It's not different.
Yeah,
maybe
it
becomes a headache for those players that don't have certain units, but it's still the same thing.
So for those of you who are not huge Dark Visions people but like Clash of Wills, how do you feel about World of Visions events?
I want to say one thing about Dark Visions.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's any illusion that it's the whale's end game, right? So people like to spend money, who want to get the EX3 units, do the most damage, are gonna do well in Dark Visions. I enjoyed Dark Visions until the controversy of this year where the cheaters won. Now, I don't care about it. I hope it dies. That was one of the most gut-wrenching decisions in this game personally for me, because I spent a lot of money. I put time and, money into this, looked at the strategies and wanted to get that rank 1, or close to it, at least the top 10, and I did it a few times. But, after the stuff from this year, it was hard. It's weird. I like Cal, though. But yeah, the ranking system on that, especially when it was geared towards the people that were spending lots of money in your game, and for you to turn your back on them.
Yeah, the whole thing was really mishandled by their department. I feel like they just had the wrong response at every turn that month.
Yeah, it was a pretty questionably executed set of decisions for sure. But I feel like, and I'm just gonna like toss this out there. I don't know if I'm like spitting bars or if maybe I'm gonna whack for this, but I remember more specifically maybe the first 6 years of the game or so. This one kind of blurred past me a little bit, but I feel like before Dark Visions, before the introduction of like a leaderboard system in a thing that anyone cared about, raids had it, but like whatever, but like it went into like a meaningful capacity. It was kind of enough to just like clear the trial and you're having a good time, like even if it took a long time or your team was kind of whack or you like one shot, whatever you wanted to do, you just like clear. The first time Iron Giant came out, you clear Iron Giant. Your first time in Tanger comes out, you clear in Tanger and all this. Probably people cheated there too. Right. And I'm not trying to invalidate your point. I actually agree with you. I think your point is, I think you're right, Archaic. But like specifically what I'm saying is, do you think that if Dark Visions never had a leaderboard ever at any point, it was just get in there, you don't know how other people did, totally blind, here's your rewards. Do you think that cheaters would even have the ability to affect your perception of Dark Visions if that were the case?
I would say no.
No. Yeah, because I'm not. It's a rank thing. I'm going up against somebody. That's the whole thing with ranking.
Right.
And if somebody else has an advantage or like a secret advantage, and the company I'm just specifically. There's been cheaters in this game forever, and they've done a pretty half decent job about it. But for this one specifically, I think people were taking advantage. Some of the community, like when it shot up to like 2,000 people hit rank 1, and they were fine with resetting that for people, for like actual players of the game. But
Yeah,
then
yeah.
they come back and when they reset it and the cheaters came back and won and they did nothing? Absolutely ridiculous.
Well, I remember since you got burned in the JP version that, was similar to that, not from a cheater standpoint, but a lot of people were able to actually cap a Dark Visions early on, and then they added another one.
Oh, the Legend of Mana Vision World. Yeah, that was that was pretty fun. That was handled poorly, I feel, as well on the JP side. Yeah, that was. It wasn't because of cheaters. It was because they miscalculated the boss's stats, whatever, and it was their mistake, and they indirectly punished the players because of it.
Right. Now, to circle back to the larger issue I was trying to the bigger point I was trying to make, do you think in general, and this is like for everybody, although piggybacking obviously on Archaic's question or comments rather about the cheating situation, but just in general, and including chat, by the way, chime in, y'all. I'm trying to see some opinions, like pipe up. But do we feel that our issues with Dark Visions, which I think again, Kamikura is right that that's not really like for us necessarily, but do we feel that considering that is literally one half of the relevant content in this entire game, every problem we have with Dark Visions as a game mode would go away if there's no leaderboard? Just take away scores and it's just fights to do.
I think
Look at the lapis, which is like no ranking.
I'm a lower spender player, but I actually talk a lot about the Dark Visions problem.
Sure.
And I think the main problem is that some of the players that play Dark Visions at that level to make work in his strategy, try to do his best, re-roll variants, all that stuff, they spend money with that purpose, that all that effort will be compensated with high rank. So that is the problem. When they try to get rid of the situation around Dark Vision not banning the cheaters, I understand that when your purpose is to work on your units, spend to to get the high ranks, for me it's obvious that will affect that players. And I'm saying that from a perspective of a lower spender that don't enjoy any of Dark Visions.
Sure.
So if we remove the ranking system in Dark Visions, the content will become a weekly boss. Because what's the point to doing damage? You just one shot the boss and that's it.
Well, I'm saying, should there be a point to doing damage at all?
And I
should there
say
even be a point?
And I'd say Dark Visions is not for us, but speaking as a whole culture, because as I say, only 1 of 10 players or every 10 players enjoy Dark Visions.
Well, I'm including Clash of Wilds too.
That one player,
period.
Yeah, for that one player, it deserves that Gumi does the good things about banning cheaters and prevent all the stuff to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know also that some players that were whales and they stopped spending money because the problem with the cheated. So I understand.
So
like
go ahead, Dream.
This is from the perspective of someone who doesn't spend, but I think when I contrast DV versus Vision World versus Clash of Wills, there is a very clear pattern for me, at least, that not necessarily removing all the scoring in general, but content is that type of content is much more fun to me when there is that ability to cap that perfect score, and it can just be you versus the game and yourself rather than directly just how you do compared to other players. And I think that that when there is the ability to cap, the content is a lot more fun. Or even if not that, then that one DV that was sort of part of that compensation in quotes of cheaters, where almost all of the rewards were in the milestones rather than the ranks. That was actually quite I felt that was quite a good system of how to do it.
Sure.
Because I want to compete against the game. I like strategizing of how to maximize damage. That has a fun of its own, but I want to be competing against the game rather than the other players, I guess.
Yeah.
So knowing that, do you feel that 'Cause I don't know when you started the game necessarily, how if that was before or after Dark Visions,
I
but
started 2 weeks after launch.
oh, perfect. Okay, great. So, do you think then that you would say you enjoy the concept of a ranked ladder lists FFB still with scores more than the permanent trials on release? Like back
No,
in the day, the Vortex stuff.
I think I prefer permanent trials. I like the scoring system as a way to like
Sure.
create more objectives in a fight, but I don't like competing against other players really, I guess.
Sure. So okay, so what I guess what I'm trying to say is if they, let's say Dark Visions, Clash of Wills, and I guess Vision World, if we want to call it a different thing. I don't know if I agree that it's different, but for the sake of argument, if we count those three things as permanent content in a hypothetical landscape, right? They don't expire, they don't time out, they just come out and stay. It's like a new Vortex, right? Vortex of the Visions or whatever. You call it whatever you want. If that was just a thing where it's like, hey, we're here now and you can get to it whenever you want. There's no leaderboard. Just come pick up your milestone rewards, just when you can do it. Same as the old trials. What's our vibe on that? Is that like a better system, just like patently in general?
I think that would be interesting as its own form of content. I think the time limited nature of DV and Clash does add a quality of their own. It's like you have to do it at the current power level rather than just waiting for power creep and getting all the rewards later.
Kind of like Chamber of the Vengeful.
That could also have value as its own different type of content.
But are we doing it at the current power level, or are we doing it at the power level of how much we want to whale on the current banner? I guess would be my question to that.
Well, that's the thing. I like it. I want current power level.
You're trying to whale. You're trying to EX3 something and get rank 1 Clash of Wills.
No, not so much like that, but just
right
where you have a fixed benchmark to try and get above with whatever your current power level is, rather than just like there needs to be a point where you have succeeded, you have won, you have done enough.
But your current power level is relevant to how much you chase the current banner, though, right? Specifically.
In some ways, yeah. But it's more like
a new thing comes out and I have my current power level, but I don't have flavor of the week unit for Clash of Wills. That's a bumpy ride for me.
Yeah.
But so
it's the fact that challenge remains, rather you can't just wait for that challenge to go away.
Well, okay, yeah, sure.
Just to know it, look all the old trials that are in the Chamber of the Dignat, the Chamber of the Vengeful, the Chamber of Reborn. Do you still play in those trials?
I don't play the old Dark Visions either, because they're gone. Well, so I don't know.
The permanent content. Do you play it?
No, no, absolutely not.
So removing all the rewards, making the events permanent will result in exactly like that.
Okay, but do you play the old Dark Visions and Clash of Wills right now? Do you go back and fight the ones that expired? Because I don't. They're not in the game.
No.
So there's no difference. It's the same.
There'll be more trials stock that I won't play. So I think that the Dark Visions and Clash of Wills being events that expire is okay.
I think
because I won't play anymore.
There's different types of value in permanent content versus limited content, and I think they can be balanced differently as well. As we talked about with the trials earlier, you can make a trial that is incredibly hard to beat on launch and has a bunch of annoying mechanics, and I think that's also where like those RNG mechanics, like killing a random slot and stuff, that can work, because if you're having to rerun more or come back later, there isn't that time pressure, so it's fine. Like old stuff like Shinryu trial, that had some RNG and could fall apart and stuff, but it made you react and stuff, and I've talked to Sins before about this. But yeah, so having that kind of RNG reactive problems that might not work out if you get an unlucky run, that's something that feels kind of okay and fun in a permanent trial, but bad in time limited content. But then there's things in time limited content with like scoring that make you push you in certain ways that they wouldn't if they were permanent and you could just wait.
I think the only exception for the rule is the trial of Morgana on the Chamber of the Vengeful that
Sure.
actually was released 1 year ago,
Mm-hmm.
and still players that didn't clear the 20 units, 20 different
Yeah.
units. Yes?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that trial at the beginning with the meta was viable to do in a few turns, like 5 or 6 turns, or even though not one shot in, you can clear it in like 15 or 20 turns. And with the current meta, accepting whale, super whale power, you still can do a fight around 4 or 5 turns. So that's the only content that I think is like not having the problem with the timeline changing, because still a decent challenge, but only because you need to clear with different units in total. You can, for example, 1 year ago I did the 50 units. I actually did 50 different units in like 2 weeks. But that's because I want to do that. I really want to clear as fast as possible. But many of my players in my community, they wait like 6 months or 7 months to clear all the 20 units. And that was that's the only content that is actually in the game that had surpassed the pass of the time. So maybe more content like that will be nice, but Gumi decided to only release one until now.
I think it would be very nice to get more of those. I guess part of the problem might be that, you know, for Morgana's one, they reworked it, basically made a whole new fight, and now maybe they feel they need to do that with all of them, when really, like, a lot of them, they could just take the old Clash boss as it is, tweak the stats and modifiers and morale amounts or a current meta, and just release them as is, and that would be some fun side content to do.
Last thing I want to touch on before we take a break and go into our game show is that there's another piece of content, types of trial that we've gotten in the past year, and that is the ones that give us either silver crowns for specific units, or unlock like time-limited abilities for units like Dark Rain, Knights of Grand Shelt for their 150% amps and things like that. I feel like these are, you know, new and important for new players and and for vets too, because we get to reuse old units and upgrade old units. So what are your thoughts on some of these?
Okay, so for the ability stuff, okay, so for somebody that's not like super hardcore with clearing content, whatever, I hated this back in the day when the first game, or like when the game had first come out, and you had to like, there were certain units where you had to get like relevant abilities through King Mog in the shop, and I kind of feel like some of that's the same. Yeah, where you had to like waste a slot to equip it. So I kind of feel like that's the same. Where if you're not like paying super close attention to when that stuff is coming out, like a lot of that's gone completely over my head. So I feel like that kind of sucks, and I'm not a huge fan of having to like get super relevant abilities for units that way.
Yeah,
I agree with
the
that.
stages themselves are good. The crowns and ability upgrades are good. The fact that their time limit is terrible, and I'm glad that's being fixed.
It never fails. You'll use Knights of Grand Shelt or Dark Rain for something, and in the comments somebody will say, "What if I couldn't get their 150% amp?"
Yep.
You know, and it never fails.
And I think especially like the series locks on those stages is what makes the time limiting really bad, because sometimes you just won't have pulled something from that series.
Yeah,
since Cypher's Coat was a meme on my channel for a long time.
Oh, brother.
I was happy to see it come back, even though it got nerfed, but still, I think it's great that newer players are now able to grab a hold of those time-limited things, for sure.
Silver gun!
I think
ring, all that.
I think the balancing on these trials is terrible because it's so black and white. Either you have like the 1 or 2 units that are the carry for these fights, and they are a complete brain dead joke, turn 1 kill, turn 2 kill, no challenge whatsoever. Or maybe you don't have that unit and it's a total struggle bus. Like the one for Tyvis was a perfect example. Like if you had Tyvis, the second his SLB is ready, you win the fight. Over. No challenge. If you didn't have him, you're struggling to make like Cal work. And it's just like these very narrow series locks. That's the problem with these. It's just so black and white, and I don't like that. I wish they were just open to all units, no lock whatsoever, and they were tuned like a real fight. And then you could use a mix of parties. Maybe you want to use like an Ibarra party or, you know, whatever. But the locks just make them either a super joke or a super hard.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I feel like if they had no lock, you would kind of end up, you could bring pretty much just the same party to all of them, and it wouldn't be that interesting. But yeah, I feel like again, the big problem of the series lock is created by them being time limited, and once we get the permanent versions of them, that'll be lessened a lot.
Yeah,
because then you can just wait to pull the right unit.
Yeah.
Yeah, for if there's time limited ones, and there is one that's an absolute key, what they should do is they should have one that unit be brought in as, you know, your unit 6, and you know, at least make it then fairer for a lot of other people, so at least that they can unlock it. But unfortunately, it's a lot of these are just cash grabs, and it's really, really annoying in that regard.
I mean, do you guys think it would be helpful if they did something like the story events where they gave you a unit, like the relevant to the story to use, like the up at the top?
Well, the thing is, going forward, all of these from now on, at least assuming we copy JP, which I'm sure we will, all of them have the friend system enabled, so you can always use a friend going forward.
That's good.
I mean, you're right, but that's, as I say, it's as long as they do that.
Yeah, it seems like they're sort of fixing a lot of the problems with them, or at least mitigating.
What about if for some reason Gumi decide, I think that's a good idea, but not sure if you share that opinion, that all that silver crowns limited to a specific series will be like a fixed party that the game gives you all the units with some equipment, with the same equipment, like a fixed trial. What do you think, guys?
Honestly speaking, I didn't. As much as it was cool and interesting because it was new and different during like the Televasana's fixed trials, I don't really love the idea of fixed unit content, just because like the entire purpose of these kind of games is collection and building your roster, building your units, and then for you to go into a content like the series lock, you're locking off, you know, half of your inventory or whatever. But for fixed content, you're literally locking out your entire inventory. So it's like kind of like, you know, what's the point of pulling for units if I can't use them on fixed content, because it's just your units are taken away. So I don't like fixed unit content.
I was saying only for the silver crowns or for some of them, because for example, the last one with the Tybus crowns, season 4 units only. I've been playing this game for 7 years. I don't have like, for the 10 units, I only had like 5 of them. Playing 7 years. So for me, it's a problem that can be solved like that, but not for all the content, specifically for silver crowns, I say.
As long as they upgrade the trials though, right? So if you're going to unlock them, they can't just be one-shotted by Chizuru.
So you know what could be a good compromise is to do both. So you can either have the series lock season 4, or for example, if you don't have those, you can option to take the fixed party instead. Maybe that'd be kind of cool. You can go that way you know, you please everybody.
Okay. Well, we've had a lot of chat about a lot of things so far, and we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. So when we come back from the break, we're going to be doing our game show. So I'm going to let my game show contestants go ahead and get into position there. And we will see you guys back here in about 5 minutes with our Mad Grow game show. You guys, we'll see you in a bit.
This is FFBE Jeopardy! Introducing our contestants from the FFBE Global Podcast, Dream. Our next contestant, our global leader for FFBE YouTube content, Sinzar. Our last contestant, our FFBE cosplayer, along with a Twitch streamer and SoundCloud, Worship HK. And finally, our host, who is also a Twitch streamer, along with YouTube, Mad Guru. And now it is time for us to go over today's categories. Unlimited. Power of Sight. Call to Battle. Heavenly Host. Yelp Review. Potion Potables. And now let's get this show started. Welcome, everyone. Before we get started, I would like to thank Madcap for all of the stuff that we have been provided with. Unfortunately, my cool animations aren't working, but please, Worship, start off with the first question or first category.
Let's do Yelp reviews for 200.
Yelp reviews.
I want to know what this is.
This unit with her bunny ears, even with her storm-seeking tendencies. Worship.
What is Esther?
That is
Or who
correct.
is Esther? Excuse me.
I told you you'd be able to answer at least one
I'd
of
be
these.
offended if I didn't get that one. I would just forfeit.
All right, clear buzzers. Guess what? You still have the board.
Okay, then let's go ahead and do just Yelp reviews for 400.
All right, Yelp reviews for 400. Meet this handsome, rugged adventurer and claimed he was a globe-trotting archaeologist. Don't believe. 2 stars.
Oh, goodness.
I can't think of his name.
I can't either. 2 stars.
All right.
I got
Dream.
nothing.
Is it Montana?
That is correct.
Boom!
Guy with a whip.
That is correct. Dream, you have control of the board.
Let's try unlimited for 400.
Unlimited for 400. Excellent. Her limit burst caters to all bunny lovers. Dream.
Paladin Sylvie.
Break.
It is either Sylvie or Paladin Sylvie. They both do, but you are correct.
I always know my girls.
Okay. Back to the board right now.
Let's try unlimited for 600.
All right, we have unlimited for 6. This unit, while meditating with his calligraphy, was a greatly anticipated unit until he was not. Dream.
Is it Axstar?
That is correct. As Saiyan Knight preempted my question with that.
Yeah, that helped a bit.
Thank you, Saiyan Knight. More importantly, oops, I forgot to save that. Your turn, Dream.
Well, why don't we just keep the streak going? Try unlimited for 800.
This shocking unit was the very first unit to have level 440. That is Sinzar.
Who is Lightning?
I need more information.
Oh, who is Radiant Lightning?
That is correct.
Boom.
That one I wasn't. Unfortunately, that had to be specific.
I
How
would have
many
got that
versions
now.
does she have? Like
375.
Let's try call to battle for 200.
All right. So your call to battle 200. This game mechanic allows the player to increase their damage, Sinzar.
What is the chain cap increase?
It's just chaining. That's good enough for me. Some of these questions I try to make as easy as I can for you guys. All right.
Call to battle 400.
I'm just the one that needs the easy ones.
Call to
Buzzer
battle
hasn't been reset.
400.
The buzzer reset.
Hop to it. This now common chain by Esther. This is no means a flash in the pan. Oh, hold on. You guys gotta. Yep, Sinzar.
What is bolting strike?
That is correct.
I knew that one, everybody. I knew that one.
Could have been Extreme Nova as well. I guess that what didn't start with her though.
That is correct. All right.
Let's
Sinzar.
call to battle 600.
Hold on. Gotta make sure that I save every time. 600, you said?
Yep.
This absolutely powerful chaining family is Axstar's dream.
Continue down.
So you want call to battle for 800?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
The buzzer's not reset again.
Yep. Thank you. Dream.
Is this Octoslash?
No, it is not.
No, never mind.
Sinzar.
What is quick hit?
That is correct. Laugh all you want was a Titus.
That's right.
And yes, SK, that was for you.
Let's close it out. Call to battle 4000.
Call battle for 1,000.
I thought you said 4,000, and I was like, what?
Ruggle, how I missed thee. But his friend Lunera had this powerful but annoying chaining family to use, and I forgot to clear buzzers.
The buzzer wasn't reset.
Dream.
Oriole Ray.
Yes, that is correct. Dream.
Let's go unlimited for 1,000.
Unlimited for 1,000. Raise the shields and protect the castle. This beauty devotes her days to recovery of her homeland. Worship.
Who is Charlotte?
That is correct.
I got one.
Officially had Sacred Shield, but honestly, then I wrote it and realized,
Sorry.
they're all correct. No, that is a me, not a you.
Okay.
Worship.
All right, let's try it. Let's try a new one. Let's do potion potables for. Let's just start at 2.
For 200.
200.
This cold flame that burns forever helps remove dream.
Holy Torch.
That is correct.
Or what is Holy Torch? Mix it up. Let's go Yelp reviews for 600.
I can't get over the category name.
I'm glad someone don't.
I don't know.
It's so funny.
When visiting Eldor Tower, met this beautiful elite officer. Her friend Shadow, though, was annoying. 3 stars, Sinzar.
I think what is Domino?
That is correct.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
All right,
All right.
let's try Power of Sight for 800.
Power of Sight for 800.
Wheel.
This unit, along with her friend Colin, are attacked by a mechanical weapon. Sinzar.
Who is Lid, I think?
No.
Oh.
I forgot her name now.
Worship.
Starts with the L.
Oh, I know who it is.
Who is? I know she's on the Crystal People. Red one. Yes.
Dream.
Go for it.
Louise?
There we go.
That is correct.
That's it.
Yeah.
I knew who it was.
I wouldn't have got that without you mentioning it.
Crimson colored light, Louise.
I had it.
All right, I'm just going to give a second. That was a massive score shift there. And we're just going to kind of call halftime for a second here. So we have Worship with 400, Sinsar with 2,000, and Dream for 2,000. Dream, would you like to, since you're part of this, would you like to hype up anything on your end?
Not particularly.
Worship, how about you?
What do you mean hype up anything?
Well, just who you are.
I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best, everybody. So I'm just here to fill in some gaps and be comedic relief.
Sinzar, anything you want to hype up?
I would just say that I was thinking of Evan in that last question, and it tripped me up. That's my mistake.
No problem. All right. Dream, you have control of the board.
Oh. I don't know if there's supposed to be like any strategy to picking these. So I'm kind of just going randomly, but...
Nope,
go for it.
No strategies.
No.
Let's go potion potables for 600.
It's whatever
600.
you're confident in. Girl.
This handy ninja device creates a cloud. Sinzar.
What is a smoke bomb?
That is correct. Smoke screen, smoke bomb.
Same thing.
Let's go to the buzzer's not reset, but let's go to potent potables for 1,000.
Potent potables for 1,000. It is a daily double.
Oh Lord. We actually don't have our score on this screen. So how much money do I currently have?
You have 2,600. Daily double.
Okay. Let's go for 2,000. We'll try to take the lead. I think.
For 2,000.
Or just lose it all. Let's try it.
Yep, and only Sinzar can answer this.
Okay.
An item that draws attention and usually makes the actor glow. Monsters greatly dislike this.
What is the protagonist halo?
That is correct.
Oh Lord. I'm doing my best, y'all. Doing my best. Okay.
All right,
let's go to the consumables for 800. Or the potent potables for 800.
Yeah, hold on 1 second, please. Yeah, it's working. That stupid thing. Potent potables for 800. This healing item includes pure ether as part of its ingredients. Dream.
Is it elixir?
No. This is the highest healing Sinzar.
What is the high ether?
No. That you can craft in the Coliseum.
Girl, I ain't got a clue, so don't even ask me.
I was just glad that you did not get this as the daily double. It is the Y potion.
Oh, okay. Oh, you mean like literally craft. I get it.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Coliseum was so long ago. I'm just like...
Oh, that was one of the harder questions.
Oh, is that where the recipe comes from?
Yeah, that's actually pretty clever.
Because I remembered stealing elixirs from Coliseum.
Yeah.
But you couldn't craft them. Sinzar.
Let's go ahead and finish off the potent potables.
Potent potables. This modern explosive weapon does fixed damage to enemies in AoE. It's the descendant of the throwing stone and bow and arrow. Dream.
Grenade?
That is correct.
Oh, frick. All right. My brain went to Ninja Star for some reason, and I was like, but that doesn't explode.
Actually, that's where most people went there. I'm not going to lie, because that was, when I read it, I'm like, yeah, it's Ninja Star. I'm like, oh, no, it's not. And I wrote the question. Dream, yours. Sorry, Dream, did not hear.
Used for 800.
Oh, yep, for 8? Okay. This gifted but mysterious artist with red hair stars in her artistic means. 4 stars.
Oh, I know the
who it
unit,
is,
but not the name.
Yeah, not the name.
Oh yeah, she's.
Uh,
I can't think of any of them.
The
I
little
know who it is.
clown-looking cutie.
Yes,
Oh,
with
That one.
the big puffy hair. I cannot think of her name.
I can't either.
All right.
Oh, I got it. I thought
What's
it
her
was
name?
it, I think. What is Malit? I think.
I'll give it to you. It's Millette. No, yeah, you're correct.
Okay, yeah. Oh, I could not
Someone
think of it.
said Bob Ross.
Yeah, I saw her face, but the unit, but I could not. But Malit,
Yeah.
yes.
I couldn't just get the name.
Yeah.
Sinzar, your
Okay.
turn.
Why not an easy one? Let's finish off unlimited.
Unlimited for 200. These little units help increase your limit burst level. Sinzar.
Limit burst pots. LB
That is
pots.
correct. Burst pots is the good enough.
Okay. Let's see here. Let's go for something we haven't done. Let's do Heavenly Host 800.
Heavenly Host for 800. Oh, hold on. Let me clear the buzzers. After stopping the flames in the heavens, the Dragon King gives you Dream.
Oh, the item.
Yes.
Is it like Sigil of Bahamut? No. I'm thinking
Unfortunately, I
like
can't give it to
gold
you.
emblem.
Nope.
Gold Bahamut emblem, but no.
Anyone else?
Hey, I have no idea.
It's the Rod of Bahamut.
Aw.
Oh, from the trial version?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
thinking-
alright.
I think we were
These
all
ones
thinking
are
of
all
Esper.
you guys.
Yeah, I was. Okay, so it's still me then. Let's try Heavenly Host for 600.
This young archer gives us his weapon, Dream.
Ang? Well,
That is
Oh.
correct.
I don't kill me for bad
knew
Chinese
that.
pronunciation.
Yeah. I had a couple of British teachers, so my chemistry is all British, so I take 0 negative points on that. All right. Dream, you have the board.
Let's get Yelp reviews for 1,000 out of the way.
This ancient white mage was just too weak to be of any use. In fact, Dream.
Is that Leah?
That is correct. My very first summon ever.
1-star white mage.
All right, still got the board.
How about we try Power of Sight 400?
It is the other daily double, and I'll let you get your screen to see what you want to bid.
How does this work?
You can bid up to 4,400.
Oh. Do I get to know what other people's scores are right now?
Yeah, so Sinzar's at 4,800,
I'm
Worship's
no
at
threat.
400, and Dream, you're at 44.
Bet it all.
Do it.
Let's bet 1,500. Be
For
somewhat safe.
For 1,500, a fan favorite unit touching the crystal that grants her powers to bring back light to the world.
But I feel like that's so fake, but
I was gonna say that covers a lot of people. I feel like.
is it Alina?
Yes, it is.
Oh, thank God! I was like
Oh, hold
tossing
on.
up between that and Fina.
That was where my mind went to. I was like,
Okay.
Oop. You still have the board.
Let's go. Power of Sight 1,000.
This explosive vision card features a fearsome creature attacking our character. You need to use your agility and surroundings to defeat that foe. You can give me the unit where this vision card comes from. Sinzar.
I'm gonna try it. What is Nora's vision card?
No, that is incorrect. Oh wait, you said Laura?
Nora.
Nora?
The globally exclusive purple hair. Recent.
Nope. I just want to make sure. Nora is not correct.
Okay.
Closer.
That's where I'm stuck at.
It's Laura Croft.
Oh God.
Oh.
Okay,
That's what I really said.
I didn't end up pulling that unit.
And that's what happens when you don't pull her.
I was just like,
Well, you got a bigger lead from that, Dream, so good call.
Mm.
You still have the board.
You've only got-
everybody-
There's 1800, so you could get to 62.
Oh, if I get everything. Well, we can try. We can try.
Then again, final round can change everything, right?
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah, and because I'm in this certain thing, I can't stop ads either, which is really annoying. I hate
okay,
Twitch for that.
ads are done.
Ads are done.
Ads
All
are
right.
done.
Okay, in that case, we're gonna go for the 1000 Heavenly Host.
Heavenly Hosts. This tactical short sword gives the unit the ultimate power. It is known for its extreme rarity, but a certain angel has one on each leg.
For what?
I am unsure of this.
It's heavenly.
Ugh.
All right. It's the High Seraph Stagger.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Listen. But on each leg
Okay, let's go the Heavenly for
Okay.
400.
got stuck.
This Esper was made in Japan for a sake company, Sinzar.
Who is Kokuryu or Saki Dragon in the Japanese version?
Yes.
Did you guys know that they made an actual sake bottle?
Yes, they
like-
did, and I
Yeah.
just missed out on it.
I almost bought it. I found somebody selling it for like $150 and I had to talk myself out of it. I was like, but the sake.
I heard the sake was actually really good from it, too.
Oh!
So, yeah.
Let's go Heavenly for 200. We can finish it off.
Yep.
That's a
This Esper has no fear, Sinzar.
Who is Odin?
come on.
Yes.
I was spam clicking that one before it reset.
Well, both was you guys both were, and I saw, and I'm like, well, I couldn't even tell you which one was first. All right, and the last one is 200 for Power of Sight. Of the one of the first cards, it's nice to relax and play some Sinzar.
Who is Yoshikiri's vision card?
That is correct. Virtual Training.
I remember that one.
Oh, I thought we needed the card name.
No, I said for this one, the card or the character.
Right,
Yeah.
that was for the whole category.
Yep.
Oh, well.
All right, I'm ready for this last question to not be in last, hopefully.
All right, so you guys know that for Final Jeopardy here, we have the question, and actually I've got to go to a different one for everybody, so give me 1 second here.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, do we?
Well, so far, have we done better than last year?
The weird thing is, I think you guys have been pretty much equal. The main thing here is getting this question right, somebody. So the Final Jeopardy screen here is famous person or people.
What?
Oh Lord! So it's a
Okay.
it's a lore question.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I
Maybe
swear
not.
to God, if it's the famous person I think it is, I might flip my table. I'm just going to say that.
Now, with that, I'm going to ask you guys to give me.
What's the current score so we can?
The current score is 5,200 for Sinzar, 400 for Worship, and 5,900 for Dream.
Hell yeah.
So just give me your bids directly via Discord, please.
So if we get it right, the amount we bid doubles.
Yes, and if you get it wrong, you lose that amount.
So if you, for example, bid 100 and you win, you get 100. And if you get it wrong, you lose 100. So you get or lose exactly what you bid.
Yeah, you put it in, get double back out, aka the original +1. Okay. Thinking.
I'm totally about to win this. You guys are right. They're definitely going to bet all their points. Mm-hmm. They're going to risk it for the biscuit.
That's how you do it. Hey, it paid off last time.
Oh my god.
All right. So the question is, and you're just going to give it to me in Discord, everyone.
Okay, so we don't have to buzz for this. Good.
This moon-illuminating truth seeker was a quiet but reliable ally at times who initially lacked emotions. With a certain afterglow, his Magitech heart changed him completely.
Well, I have sent my answer in.
Without a form of a question. No points for you.
Oh no!
Jesus. I'm thinking of somebody who went the other direction.
Oof. That is not what I wanted.
Now I'm worried this was a trick question.
What? I didn't ask a trick question last time.
Oh, I'm definitely certain I got it right. I'm just wondering if I bet enough.
I really think it's not right, but that's who comes to mind.
1 second, please. It is not.
I've watched too much Jeopardy on TV, and I bet the same way they do, which is probably a mistake.
Oh.
You guys all answered differently.
Oh,
interesting.
I really don't think mine's right, but that was the only person I could think of.
Sins was confident, so.
Well, I was, but now I'm not so sure.
I'm concerned.
All right. So we are going to start with Worship HK. I said you guys answered differently, but I didn't say that you guys were wrong. Hulis Heliar.
Oh.
That is correct.
What?
And you bet 400, not 5,000. I'm sorry. That did
What?
not.
I didn't want to. Oh, wait.
No, you bet.
Okay.
You bet correctly. My thing's stirring up a little bit.
I was
Sinzar,
like,
you said who is Soul, and that is still correct for 800.
I see.
But I had to create some doubt with you guys. And Dream,
I'm so worried.
you asked who is Heliarch and Soul, and that is actually absolutely correct. And you bet 5,000.
Y'all.
So congratulations, Dream. You have the highest score out of any of the game shows that I have done. So our winner today is Dream with 10,900 points, followed by
Oh yeah.
I'm just happy I had points at the end, so I won.
Followed by Sinzar with 6K and Worship with 800.
I didn't bet enough. I should have bet it all. It wouldn't have mattered though.
Yeah. Well,
Nope.
Since I specifically bet so that if we both got it right, I would still have more than you going all in.
Exactly. That's how I bet. I bet the minimum possible to pass you if you bet the minimum, but without going. Yeah. So the only way I could have won is if you had gotten it wrong. So
Yeah. I would. risky.
Right.
Well, safe if I got it right, risky if I got it wrong.
I hope everyone enjoyed. I do apologize for the stupid ads, but more importantly, thank you, everyone. And that is
It was
all we've
fun.
got.
It was really fun.
Thanks, everybody. That was real fun.
Good time.
Okay, everybody, we're back. Thanks for sticking around for the game show, which was a lot of fun, and hopefully this last bit that we're going to do is just as fun. And that is that we're going to talk a little bit about, our theme for the night, which is community. And we've already been talking a little bit about community in all the different segments of the game that we've been playing, or that we've been talking about. But I wanted to make sure that we hit community specifically. And so we've got everybody back here to talk about that. And so a question that I have for you all, in one form or another, how do you, as community leaders, engage with your communities?
If I am traveling, I try to contact whoever's in the area. This year, I got to meet Sylvanari, Red of the Sun, DK, and oh man.
Red Mage.
I've got no, not Red Mage. In Florida. Sorry, I can't remember. I'll remember as soon as we go to the next one.
Yeah.
But I try to meet everybody as much as I can, and just try to create whatever I can for community. It's kind of the reason why I still played for quite so long, is because of that, to be honest.
Awesome. So just going and meeting people. I love it.
For me, it's mostly for my specific people that watch my stuff. It's the comments on YouTube. They'll comment, I'll reply, etc. But for more like direct back and forth, the main thing I use is Discord. I'm very, very active on Discord. I'm on like all throughout the day, even if I'm not home. If it's on my phone, if I'm sitting in like a waiting room, I'm on Discord just chatting. Also, I post on Reddit sometimes as well. Not as much. I'm more of a lurker on Reddit. But for me, it's YouTube comments and Discord is the two main things I interact with the community about.
Mm-hmm. Those are big. Yeah, I like being active in Discord a lot. Do some like movie nights and like branching the tendrils out into other games, playing Street Fighter with the homies, helping homies in Genshin, like doing, just making sure it's not so FFB centered necessarily as much as centered around the people I've met through FFB. Poetic, adorable. He loves that.
I mean, that's kind of me too. Like, so I'm not super like outspoken about playing FFB a whole lot, which I know probably sounds kind of weird, but I like to add a lot of people on Facebook, and then I interact through all my posts and stuff there. And then I've been doing my best to be like more active in people's streams, and I've noticed I don't know, I've had a lot of fun in people's streams, and I've met a lot of new people in other people's streams that I may not have ever run into unless I'd stopped in there. And then my last one, I think, is joining everybody's oh my god, I almost said Facebook groups, everybody's Discord channels, and talking with people in there too.
For me, it's same as Sensor, and Discord and YouTube comments, plus the weekly streaming, commenting the news every week.
And I think I've been seeing with you lately, you've been having guests too, haven't you, Kamikiro?
Yeah, since like 1 year ago, I started to invite some of the communities, Hispanic communities, to my streams. Yes, commenting the news. For the anniversary, we also 3 Hispanic streamers were streaming the anniversary too, something like that.
Very cool. Very cool.
Heck yeah.
With me, still stream is mostly what I do with FFBE. I do some pool videos once in a while, and interact with people on YouTube and stuff. But yeah, mostly Twitch for me.
Mm-hmm. Okay, on Twitch, you do a lot more than just FFB, though, huh? You're on Diablo, doing some DNF duel, or not DNF, but Street Fighter duel. Ah, my boy, you connecting with the homies on different levels, getting out there, branching out.
Yeah.
If anyone likes that content, maybe go look up Archaic_Wolf. Subscribe on Twitch.tv.
Definitely go do that. How about you? How about you, Daves?
I really like looking at comments, and I like making community posts on YouTube under the community tab a lot. So that's kind of what my vibe, I guess you could say.
Do you like the polls, or do you like more of just like the regular like informational posts?
Polls. I make a lot of polls. I make a lot of informational posts. You know, what I'm doing, what I'm not doing, what I should be doing, what I shouldn't be doing, things of that nature.
Cool. Very good. Very good. What about you, Dream?
Finally. So yeah, I've got the Reddit posts for the wiki ratings updates. They're usually weekly when I remember, and I in general browse the Reddit quite a lot and comment places. Then obviously our YouTube channel's been a bit inactive for a while, just due to time zone issues, especially where I am. That creates a lot of problems with if wanting to do recordings with people or live stuff with streams and whatnot. But then we have our pod community Discord, which is active and talk a lot about even a lot of non-FFBE stuff as well. Just chat about regular things in there all the time. So that's the main one.
Good deal.
Yeah,
What
just hang out.
what do you guys think make interactions with other players? What is it about those interactions that makes playing FFBE special to you all?
Actually, I kind of want to alter this question a little bit.
Please.
I don't think it's the community is what makes FFBE special, and not the other way around.
Ooh.
To be quite fair, I am really strong about this. The only reason the game is still being played right now is because the community is very tight. Honestly, from almost everybody that I have talked to, it's the community and the people that they know are the reasons why playing the game. And it's also what Saiyan has said. You know, we've got a whole bunch of other streamers that may not play it anymore or don't play it very much online, but we have made such good friends that, you know, we all still stick together and do everything. Honestly, I think that was the magic of FFBE. FFBE wasn't the game that created the magic. It was the community that coalesced around FFBE that created the magic.
No, that's true. FFB was the cauldron and we made the soup.
Yeah, I think the same way for different reasons, because it's actually something that we say a lot on our community, that many of us, maybe if the community doesn't exist, we won't be playing FFBE anymore. And one of the reasons has been the decision that Yumi has made for the game, because the game is not what it is. Like, every year is worse. That's not a secret for anyone. And the community is the main part for everything.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. That's that everyone thinks at the end.
All right, so going on specifically why the community, I think, is the biggest part of the game is, like, all right, so I've been attending anime conventions, playing various video games for ever. And I don't think I've really ever found a community that's quite like this one, where, like, you can meet anybody in the community and nobody's a toxic POS. At least nobody that I've met. Like, everybody's so accepting and welcoming and genuinely kind to each other. And that's just icing on the cake. It's absolutely phenomenal. I love it.
That's been my experience on Reddit too.
Yeah. Wait. In person. I'm talking about in person. In person.
Oh, got it. Oh, I see.
That's hard though when we don't have, you know, lots of events. Not just the big ones, right? But when we don't have lots of events where people can meet in person. So, I mean, I think that I definitely agree. I haven't met anybody really that even in like the Discords and things like that I would say is like so toxic that I would never talk to them. Yeah. Even if I'm not best friends with everybody. Like, I think in general, people who play this game are like pretty friendly. Like I would say like 99% pretty friendly.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
one
for
other
sure.
thing.
Because even go ahead, Dream.
Oh, no, you go. You're sort of adding to the current thing.
Oh, I was gonna say that even like the few negative people I do get on like YouTube and Reddit and stuff that are like, disagree with me or get into like an argument with me, even then it's still relatively tame as opposed to getting, like you say, toxic. Like I haven't really found or experienced that many like really toxic people. Like even the ones who are like, are against something I'll say or whatever, they're still for the most part respectful about it, which is nice. It's just a real nice thing.
I think other reason because the community it has such impact in this game is because learning about FFB mechanics is not easy. I think it's one of the few games where you can be playing for 5-6 years and you still don't know everything around the mechanics, even though those players that search around the wiki and the posts and the Discord, the threads, don't make the game easy to understand. And if we count that Gumi try to teach the players how to play, just remember the anniversary way they told us, well, to a mage party you bring Wilk as the breaker. Yeah, that was a funny joke, and that let us know that even for Gumi developers, they don't know how to make players to understand really the game. So all this stuff that the community does for the new players and the old players also is what makes the community feel more powerful than the other games too. That's one of the reasons, I think.
That's pretty much what I was going to say. Just the quality of the like community created resources for the game is incredibly high. Like all of the unit wiki pages with the getting data and passing it all like within hours of it being released before the game's even up. That's huge for keeping people engaged, I think.
Yeah, for like piggybacking off of all that, like I do think it's important for different people in the community to be able to explain things in their way, because like me personally, I feel like I speak a different language when I'm explaining things to people. So having different content creators like show and explain things differently definitely helps me like grasp how to do things, versus like if I only had one source, I would be completely lost.
Well, and not to, so this was kind of brought up earlier when we were talking about units, but when we have units that can just blow stuff up on one turn, you never have to learn how to play. You just have to learn how to support that one thing that one unit does. So find some way to get somebody to chain with Carton, and now you have no reason to learn how to survive past turn one.
Completely agree.
So
Definitely.
people who take the time to talk about it, to get conversations going about like how stuff works is just, I think, super important for the community as a whole. Like even if like, collectively we understand how chaining and chain cap works, not everybody does. And people are like, why can't I hit X, Y, and Z cap? It's like, well, because you're not doing this.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, I still had to explain even recently to like the difference between 1 and 200 weapons, the difference between variants, and like why some like weapons are better than other weapons. There's like a, weapon types and stuff. People are just like not catching this information.
There's so much content in the game. So like grasping all of it, I think is a very large feat.
Just for example, I know some
more big
players.
Thank you, SK.
I know some players that doesn't know how the Tidus STMR works, in which units it works, in which it doesn't work. And if you read the description, it's kind of the stuff that we're still learning, and sometimes it's hard to explain, even though we say, well, the LBs with doesn't ignore defense or morale or all the stuff. Yeah.
Not to mention that there are some mistakes and things that are not labeled correctly in the game. Like, for example, the difference between Esper damage and evoke damage, they're flipped on the ability searching tool. Or like meteor not listed correctly as the right type of damage that it is, and it does not make it easy for the average person to pick up.
And just as an experience, I don't play the game in Spanish. I play in English, but in Spanish it's even worse, the translation.
Oh, really?
To understand that, yes.
Okay.
And many of the translations are wrong.
I also want to mention, and I think how the community started, like the OGs, we had some really special people that started this out and set a really solid foundation in order for us, like today, to build upon. Elytra, R.I.P. Shally. I mean, we had some really special people that also started, this, and I'm glad that us as a community are able to, keep it going and continue paying it forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, stuff like Lady Hero as well. It really built up the
Absolutely.
community.
Last one before we change to something a little bit different. What are some ways that you guys think we collectively, just among us on this call, but also the community too, can work to keep community important? How can we keep that bond going? How can we keep, this important part of the game important?
Leading by example.
What? I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Leading by example. Like, as people that are like out in the forefront, I think that like people that are putting their face out there when we're leading by example, it really sets the tone. Like, if I guess my prime example is like League of Legends community, when all their streamers were being super toxic on their streams and in their chats and stuff, that immediately translated into the game, and it's just like the standard. And so for us to be like super helpful and supportive and kind to others, I think that that's the best way for us to like keep the environment the way it is.
Yeah, generally speaking, I think you're right that it's important to set a tone, and more specifically, I think it's very important to remember that at basically every turn, when we are engaging with other people who play the game, there's like, at the end of the day, it's a one-player game, right? So we don't really gain anything by like gatekeeping information or like turning our nose up at people who don't know enough at the beginning to like be involved in a conversation. Like, it's always worth the time to just speak to people in a way that you are educational, informative, concise, polite, and as long as we like maintain that vibe, I think it'll just continue to, well, spiraling is down, but what's the up version of that? Spiraling up? I don't know.
Rocketing up?
Yeah, it'll like keep it moving.
We're gonna say like
elevating.
Yeah, elevating. I like that.
Yeah. We're gonna keep spiraling positively. Spiraling, parentheses good.
Hitting, ascending, hitting
Perfect.
a thermal and riding it up.
True.
If you were a hawk or something.
Escalate?
Love
Elevator.
it.
Oh, you go up or down. Never mind.
Yeah.
Ignore me.
No. I mean,
whatever metaphor you have for going up. Yeah, for sure.
True.
Cool.
For me, it's important to clarify that is the part that corresponds to us to do as a content creators, because Gumi is doing nothing about the community. For me, I especially work with hearing all the perspectives. Many times on my stream, I try to share all the opinions, because speaking particularly in content, there's such players who only care about gacha system, and there's only players who only care about Clash of Wills, the story, their visions, and for all the subjects that can exist in the game, there's always a lot of different perspectives. And I think my job as a content creator is to show all the perspectives and try to understand, because for many players, something can be, for example, for the difficulty, can be stupid difficulty and make the game going worse or bad. But for all the players, it's good that the game has that difficulty. So I think that's my main job right now as a content creator.
Making people feel heard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure heard is the right word. It's just making people welcome.
True. Perceived. Seen. Agreed.
I mean, I try really hard to, if I don't answer every single comment on YouTube, I will I'll thumb up it or heart it or whatever. But I try really hard to answer every single one, just because every single thing that somebody's taken the time to write on there is at least somewhat important. Like, it's like, if it's a question, if it's a, hey, you should do this instead, if it's a, you know, hey, I'm not sure what to do about this. I think if you've taken the time to do that, then it's worth it to me to answer it and be a part of it and validate it for you. And because I don't know, I've been part of I've played a lot of games, and I've never been able to like be involved in something quite like this. Even games that had like, you know, wikis and message boards. I'm dating myself here, where you could like get involved with like people in the community. Like, people didn't like interact like they do with this game. And so it just, I don't know. If you're gonna take the time for me, I want to take the time for you.
Yeah, generosity with time is important.
For sure.
I remember answering a whole lot of Reddit comments. So, been there, my guy.
Yep. Okay, guys. Before, is there anything else before I swap out to our last segment? Anything else about community?
I think that mostly covers it.
I think
Just that
so.
everyone's really cute.
Yes, everybody is looking really cute today.
Love you all. Thanks for the support.
Yeah, everybody watching is fantastic. All the chat is fantastic. Okay.
Yeah, the homies know.
What's that?
The homies know. They know what's up.
They do. They do know what's up. Okay. We are going to take a very, very fast break. I'm going to come back with some surprise guests. So don't go away, and we will talk a little bit more about some very important stuff. All right, so we're back, and like I said, we're talking about community, and I didn't think it would be good for us to have a conversation about community without actually having some conversation with real people that are in communities, that people who maybe aren't content creator types who maybe aren't, active, visibly, but maybe still are big, important parts of our community in various ways. And so I've got a couple of guests here that are surprise guests. And I'm going to go ahead and pop up their information on the screen. We've got Yin to Yang and Dberry17 who are here to talk with us more about community. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys say hello, and then we'll get started.
After you, D-Berry.
If you insist. What's going on, everybody? I am an admin in the global Facebook page. I've been a moderator since mid-year 2, I suppose. Most active currently in the Discord with Sinzar and occasionally in Gert's Discord as well. But I've been around for a long time. I just only recently started getting a bit deeper into being more vocal as far as everything else is concerned.
Hey guys, I'm Yin to Yang. I am an active community member in mostly the Discords and Reddit. Some of you may know me as one of the guys who had a shortlisted unit for the old unit design contest. I had one of the tank units that lost against King Bahimi. And I've also, me and my best friend, we also created, some of you may remember it, the drawing in memory of Shali.
That's the one where it's like a lot of rainbow stars and stuff behind her.
Yeah, like she looks like a unit almost.
Mm-hmm. Very, very cool. So, how do you guys? I mean, a lot of the same questions that I had for the creator folks, but like, how does being involved in these communities like influence your day? How does being involved in these communities that you participate in, like, how does it affect your gameplay experience? Like, how is this important to you?
I mean, I'm not really gonna beat the dead horse over much. The community within this game has been probably its most defining characteristic from the beginning. I've never seen or even really considered the possibility of there being such a prevalent community for something as simple as a mobile game. You start throwing in a license like Final Fantasy behind it, and you get that there could be the possibility for it, but until you're really a part of it and actually get to see what goes into the community aspect of the game, it's really hard to get an appreciation for what this game has brought into really so many people's lives and how many people have been brought together by something that people would consider as silly. And so when you really get a chance to step back and watch how people interact in the course of the different media and the way that people are willing to help people who they will never meet in their entire lives, it's really pretty refreshing to see, and restores your faith in humanity just at least a little bit.
Yeah, like one of the big things I've loved about this community since being a day one player is that everybody's always looked out for each other in every way they possibly could, whether we had questions we didn't understand, characters we weren't sure of if they were good or not, just understanding how to play the game. And we've had great community representatives like Shali and Elytra over the years, and with each passing year, like, everything that keeps us together is the people we've spent these years with the game.
Yeah. Do either of you have friends or people that you know in real life that play the game?
No.
Sadly, no. I have occasionally on my commutes to work through public transit seen people playing the game,
Mm-hmm.
but never gotten to interact with them.
Yeah. One time I was at like a kid's birthday party at an ice skating rink, and I saw somebody doing expeditions, and I was like, I kind of want to go talk to that guy. But then at the same time, I was like, I have no idea who that person is. Like, this is just like total random strange. Like, I'm not just going to walk up and be like, trying to get that Esper ore, huh? Like, it was just really, I don't know. I just didn't think about it. But like, I think about like how if I had met that person in a Discord group or something like that, like, you know, obviously we would have talked it up. But like, I've only seen that one time in 7 years.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I guess that's not fair. I did, ironically, have a patient at a job, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago who did play, and we interacted quite a bit. I actually think he got to go to the Festa event back in LA, and I want to say 2018, and even actually brought me pins, I think. I couldn't tell you where they are at the moment, but I'm pretty sure that I have them. So there's that, but other than that, no. Which is all the more reason why, at least for me, the community in this game has been so enthralling for me, because I don't have anybody in my immediate, you know, real life circle who I could even begin to address things about this game with. And so it's kind of just been my thing for, you know, at the better part of 6.5 years at this point.
Yeah.
Like for me, the biggest thing I felt the community was strongest with me was, especially during the unit design contest. Like I connected with quite a few of the other artists who were shortlisted. Even some of the winners, like Emelira, who made Bulwark, like her were often back and forthing on Twitter together, because like we were both worried. We weren't very confident in ourselves that we'd get shortlisted, or we deserved to win, or we had troubles with it, but we just kept motivating each other, and that was probably one of the best moments of my life. Like I'm sad I lost, and I was definitely salty about it like anyone else would be, but I was still happy for Bahimi's creator winning. I was very happy for Bulwark's creator winning, especially when she was talking to me about it.
I think those contests were really neat, really good for community. I think things like that are good for community. Even if it's competitive, it gets us talking to each other. It gets us doing things with each other, and you know, more so than just like a social media post where it's like, hey, what unit would you like to meet on the beach one day? Like, cool.
Yeah, like for me, like I would love another unit design contest for us, because it really was despite some of the mess it had at points, it was a very fun event. Like everybody was welcome to try and submit their work to a unit they created, and you know, everybody had fun in some way. Like people got to flex their artistic abilities in different ways, whether it was drawing something, taking the chance at drawing something, creating lore for a character, a backstory. Like when, for the character I submitted, it was actually me and my best friend who submitted it together. My friend did the drawing, but I did all the lore and the backstory for the character.
So even that was a community effort between the two of you. So yeah, I like it.
Yeah. And like we still do that, me and my best friend Izzy. Like even the drawing of Shali we made. Izzy doesn't play the game, but he likes being involved with the community. So when he found out what happened to Shali, like I did everything I could to give him as many references to Shali, like everybody's opinion on Shali, what people thought of Shali, because like let's face it, Shali was the biggest light in our community.
No question.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we wanted to send her off in the most beautiful way possible, and we thought like transforming her into a unit was the right way to do it. unit. So we made this Shali unit, and I wrote a lore to make her like a precursor within the game. Because like that's our global original content. Why not make Shali a precursor?
But then we would never
on
have
giving the
lore though.
community-
Because
Congratulations on giving the community more lore for precursors than the game itself ever gave us about precursors.
yeah.
Oh my god, like I am the biggest one of the biggest lore buffs in this game. Like even my profile picture in this is a gag of me like just having a corkboard of all the lore that I need to figure out the whole story behind it.
I love it. I love it. Well, guys, it's been really nice to have you be a part of not only the community at large, but also community just between the three of us talking with each other, and like the various communities you're part of, that you're part of. And I appreciate all the things that you guys do in all those places, and for taking a couple minutes to come and talk with me too. It means a lot because we can't do these kinds of things alone, and conversations are kind of my jam, so I'm glad you guys took a minute with us.
Yeah, man, of course.
Anything else you guys want to throw out there, or any shout outs you want to make to the community before we let you go?
For me, I always say this with the community. Whether you're new or old, and you're never sure what to do, never be afraid to ask questions, ask for help. This community sticks together and helps each other through everything, whether it's you yourself, Gert, or Sinzar, Kamikiro, or anyone within this community that we've had throughout these 7 years. We all look out for each other, and we try our best to make the ride a smooth one, even when dangerous precedents occur.
You when you sent me the picture of your for your avatar, you said, "Be careful, there's a dangerous precedent in there." What is that dangerous precedent? Do you know what that one is?
Okay, so you can't really see it that well in this picture, but between the picture of Esther and the Neovision Quistis, when there's a small low piece of paper between them that says dangerous precedents in red writing.
Yeah, it's kind of small. You can't. It's right above that line. That's like the string that's coming out of where it says NV Quistis Win. That's where he's talking about.
Oh yeah. Plus, I had this drawing made like when Vilk and Sylvie came out, so definitely before she was announced.
Yep. Okay. Well, guys,
I just want to.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to throw something in there.
Please.
I just want to say thank you to all of the content creators who've ever done anything for this game, because I really think that this game has been a bit tumultuous as far as the way that it's been managed, the way that certain things have been handled, the way that there's been a bit of a divide in the player base as time has gone on. And honestly, if not for, the people who were around first, like the Howls and the Clay and the Gonzis, to all of you guys now who are really probably the biggest driving force in what has allowed this game to become accessible for so many people. I don't know if anybody will ever really take the time to thank the people like you, Gert, and like Sinzar and Flip and all of you who are here for really the time that you take to not just produce information for the game in a way that the development team never saw fit to do, but the communities that you've allowed to foster because of your presence and everything that you've done. I really think that the only way that this game is going to make it to the decade point the way that everybody wants it to is because of people like you. So thank you for everything that you guys have done, truly.
Thanks for saying that. Thank you so much. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys say goodbye, and then we're going to switch back over to the other group and finish up this wonderful, wonderful stream, guys.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys. Here's goodbyes from Canada.
Oh, Canada. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that little detour into talking with the community, and we're going to finish up strong here, back with our core group, and we're going to start talking a little bit about what do we think is coming, what do we hope is coming, what are we most looking forward to in year 7. And this is kind of tricky, because if you pay attention to JP, you know a little bit about what theoretically should be coming, but we know sometimes things change. For you guys who know what's going on, what do you think you're most excited about that could be coming to us in the next year?
A year out, I'm trying to see a Neovision Mercedes. That's what I'm looking for.
That'd be nice.
If we're talking about stuff that we know is coming, it's for me the Chamber of Arms stuff and the fights that come with it. If we're talking about stuff that we would like to see coming, I would just absolutely love if they converted the vision card system to the currency system like stat pots and just got rid of all the Cactuar cards that lag out the game so badly when you equip a vision card.
That'd be nice. Yeah. One thing for me, I think, and one thing I'm sort of surprised we haven't had already, is changes to like the summoning and stuff. Like if you think back to the 7-star era, as that progressed, we had a lot of like rainbow rate increases, introductions of stuff like omniprisms, select tickets, improvement of step up formats, and we haven't really seen that through like almost 3 years of NV. We still have the same rates and no sort of generic fragments or anything to do beyond EX3 with extra copies, no pool refinements. So it would be really nice to start seeing stuff like that, and it's sort of surprising that it hasn't happened already.
Neovision rate hasn't gone up like 2 times?
No, it's always been 3% total, 1% featured.
Yep. Flip brings up a good point in the chat. There's 200 Neovisions in the pool. The chances of you getting the one you want is absurd, and even getting something good is sometimes absurd.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. I mean, you're never more right about that.
Yeah. And I think even if we didn't see pool refinement, that's why something like, say, being able to convert fragments you have beyond an EX3 copy into like, some kind of generic fragment that you could use on new units, especially when EX levels are so important these days.
I was just going to say, for me, it doesn't feel like there's 200. I still get a Terra every 5th pull, so...
There's some that just haunt you, and you're like, can you please leave me alone?
Onion Knight, Dolphina. Yeah.
I still do not have an Onion Knight EX3.
What?
I don't have an Onion Knight EX2.
Yeah,
Me neither.
Mine only just got to EX2 actually.
Damn, I think my Onion Knight's EX3. That's crazy.
But everyone's got their own.
But I do have 12 EX3 Terras.
That is so disgusting. Why do you keep making them?
Because it's my trope now.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
I just want to see how many of what I can make all the way to EX3. So even if I'm like, yeah, this is super redundant and I have one, I'm like, let's see what happens.
I started making them into just like fodder. I just throw them away.
Just to give a little tip for those extra units, make EX2s and then make another EX2 because you get the 1/10 summon ticket for making EX2s.
That's kind of the only actual value. Maybe for like some premiums you would go for a second EX3 for another card, but I feel like by the time you actually get that many copies, it's going to be phased out unless you're very whaley.
I was going to say those 1/10 tickets are just 1/10 Terra tickets for me.
So. Yeah, I couldn't care less about those things. Literally throw them away.
They just laser focused your account for Terra.
That's funny.
I think that all that concerns about the Neovision rate, the system for the cards, and all about the pool system, it depends on the JP version does. So we hope the JP version does that because Gumi won't do that. About what Gumi can do, I'm hoping for more bosses on the Chamber of the Vengeful because we got one, and that's it.
Yep, that'd be really good.
Yep.
And yeah, I think even if they did just, I think we mentioned in the earlier segment, but take the existing past Clash fights, just tune up the numbers, rather than writing a whole new AI and skill set for them, and chuck them in there, and it'll be great to have those just permanently available.
Just have some punching bags, if nothing else. Good places to test units.
Yeah, especially with those 50 unit mission quests or 25.
So, just for curiosity, for a going forward, what do we want more of? Do you all like when they do collaborations with like real life people? For example, Ariana, Katie, Addison, and in
No.
JP, they're doing the collab with the Idol group. You like that kind of stuff, or not really?
I would
Which idol group?
singers, but with the TikToker is weird. I'm
No,
sorry.
wait, which idol group?
It felt weird.
I'm not sure the name. It's the Visions to X thing in JP. There's like 8 voice actor women
Oh.
that
Not
they're
watching, okay.
collabing with them.
I still hoping for premium Addison Rae.
Bro,
For sure.
I'm telling you right now, I want Ariana. And I want her bad. EX3 Ariana. I'm
Premium.
down. It's good. Make her double premium. I'll do it. See if I don't. I'm in.
I
Personally, for me, I'd like to see like some systems upgraded, right? Trust coins. Why do we have them?
True.
Nothing's changed.
Yeah, there's a lot of like
True, bestie.
old, mostly deprecated
Coliseum.
systems.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be
That
there.
actually did get revamped, but I don't think it came to global.
Okay.
Even if it
so that's,
did,
that's
I'd
one hope.
revamp it again.
Yeah, they need to fix some of the broken systems. PvP is kind of whatever. SK, you were talking about, DV and the ranking system.
Yeah.
Most gotchas, if you're in a ranking system, it's through PvP, right?
Yes.
And that's usually how it goes.
Right.
This system doesn't have PvP, so they had to find something else. So they made it a trial, gotcha grab to get people to spend money, which is fine. But I mean, PvP it is what it is. But I like to see a little bit more about that. Bundles, if you're a spender, I am on occasion. I've slowed down a lot, but the bundles have just gotten worse. I don't know what they're doing. There's some really weird bundles that have showed up lately. The Lapis is disappearing, and it's converting into these tickets that are kind of useless, and they need to revamp that. Also, the rewards you get for hitting special tiers of spending money hasn't changed in a while, and I think that would that needs some looking into as well.
Like a VIP system.
Yeah, so that's my personal wants in the future.
I would really like to see it come out for the Nintendo Switch. Have different mobile games in there. Why not? That'd be cool.
They had actually talked about getting a Steam version of Brave Exvius like years ago, and just never really went anywhere.
I want it on the Switch, and I want Ariana back. Those are my demands. Gumi, the ball's in your court.
I need Ariana so I can, upgrade her because I sold her stuff.
Just bring back a way for us to get AI Katie, please, so we can all have the upgrade package. Oh gosh,
bro.
Fair.
I think for me, to answer your question, Sinzar, I don't mind that real people exist as long as I personally feel like if I was on their legal team and I saw their sprite compared to Premium Ject's sprite, side by side, it's just the design and the artistry that goes into it is just not worth it. I would be upset if I was them, but as a result of that, because they're a real person, I don't know, it's just weird. I think if it is gonna be a real person, it'd be cool for them to be tied to the universe or tied to gaming or tied to something that players that play this game would care about. That's just me,
I also kind of
gonna-
want to comment
sorry.
on the game and how it's changed.
Mhm.
If you play chapter 1 and then you play chapter 4,
Oh, season 1.
it's like you're playing an entirely
Oh, yeah.
different game. And I really miss, actually seeing my character walk around and do those exploration type things, actually going into a dungeon and
Mhm.
feeling the dungeon crawl, the actual Final Fantasy, I guess, type feel of the game has kind of lost its luster, right? And
Yeah.
I'd like to
Right.
see that come back in some kind of fashion.
The cities in the quest were awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I didn't. Okay, for quests, those ones drove me crazy because like
Oh no.
there was no like
Some of them
way
are
to
really
man.
bad.
freaking keep track of what's still out there.
No,
I
I'm
had to
actually
like
I'm
Sorry.
actually talking
Yeah.
about the actual literal quest, not like deal fire damage and deal water damage. I mean,
No,
like a real
I'm-
quest.
No, that's what
quest.
worship means
I am
is
too.
like take 16 Boko nuts to guy in Jeff's house. Like those ones.
Oh, I like that kind of stuff. It's like classic
did-
RPG.
For
Well, I
me,
like
it
them
wasn't
too,
that I
but they're
hate
executed
it.
really badly in FFB. The system is not good for tracking like where to go. Yeah. If it was the same thing but tracked a little better, I'd be down for sure.
Yeah. Like I didn't hate that there were quests. I hated that like when you go find them, you don't get to see what quests you're missing. Like I had to scour through
Oh.
so much
I
crap
see
to
what
be
you're
like,
saying.
okay, I think I have all of the quests done from S1. And even then I'm kind of
Right.
like, hope I do, and that I was able to do this checklist. Like,
Yeah. Like
freaking
as
creative
opposed
by
to like
myself.
if there was like a quest
Totally.
bounty board or something where he's like,
Yeah.
oh, these are the ones that are available, and you can like
Yeah.
step them and go do them.
This
Yeah,
one's
yeah.
missing. Go find it, and then I could go on an adventure. But they
Yeah.
don't give us that.
Hmm.
They'll
Yeah,
show
it's
you what
like,
you completed.
Sam, did you talk to Craig at the medicine store? Because if not, you're not going to be able to get 14
Craig.
elixirs from Jennifer 3 towns over. Like, oh well, I guess.
Not to mention that so many of the quests were like you have to start the quest and then go into an exploration and touch a shiny rock and pull a lever that's underneath a ladder, kill the boss that
Yeah.
pops up, go back to town, like the steps you had to take, and then because you did
Yeah.
that, the secondary exit would open and that'll take you to, you know, the layer of the green slime blob, and like it's silly. Some of them were a little ridiculous.
You know, the stories of them do get kind of cute. There was one of these 2 scientists, and they got divorced, and there's a robot boy, and you like put them back together, and then like it was a little happy family of robot scientists. That was pretty cute. Am I right, chat? Hey, am I right, fellas? Robot happy boy, that was pretty cute.
Better than weird floating baby.
So
Sure was
one of-
better than that. I agree. Go ahead. Sorry.
So one thing that has like deterred me from getting through, again, this is attention span related, I'm sure, but the cutscenes are so freaking long. Oh my god. And I feel like a lot of them just are like kind of irrelevant stuff and are just there to be there. And I'm like, why did I go through like, you know, you have like your stack of 6 or whatever. Why did I go through 2 and now I have a cutscene again? Like usually it's like bottom or top, whatever, but they're just everywhere. And so like if I was doing them at the gym, I'm not even joking, I would get like by sitting on the treadmill, I would get through one cutscene, like one stack of 6 because of how long those things are. And I'm a fast reader, but they're too freaking long.
Yeah.
There's too many of them.
And then you miss the story text when it's like at the beginning of a battle and they're talking anyways. You hit A,
Right,
and you
I'm
tap
like-
the B, you didn't realize.
And I'm like,
Yeah. Like, all right, sick man.
yes, sitting on the treadmill, sitting on the treadmill. You know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Spending time on the treadmill.
I think we've all sat on a treadmill before. Come on, fellas.
Yeah, I mean,
Sometimes
you
gotta
guys
take a
don't
break.
face plant.
Chill.
You guys don't
Got
face plant on those on the regular.
SMH.
Is there anything that we don't know is coming because of like watching JP that we hope for specifically, like that's global oriented, or like if you could have it your way in global, like what would you do?
Yes. Yeah, dog.
Other than Queen coming back.
No. Okay, well, listen. Hey, she better. No, okay, but I really wanted to see the fundamental forces get expanded, right? That's a big one. But more specifically, I want to see a fundamental forces tie-in to the old character lore, and like flesh out the like you know how like all the old characters are like dead or whatever because they're tragic and everything sucks. So like Olive's lore is that like she like maybe is dead, but maybe she didn't die, and who knows, lol. Even though like, but it's like one line at the end that like kind of like, ooh, but maybe she's alive though. Like, all right, where's all of that? Give me more of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what about
Rosalia.
What about Zahn and okay, we don't talk about Rosalia, but like, what about Zahn and you know, Stick Guy and Michael Jackson or whatever, that little quartet of the thieves?
Existing material that they could very easily expand on instead of making just brand new stuff that comes out of nowhere.
We need an NBA for Masterminds on.
Yes. And if not Masterminds on NBA, a unit that does something similar. Give us the mechanic. I care less about the unit and more about the mechanic.
If you don't want to make good AoE amps, give us someone who can steal 150 amps and spread them.
Mm-hmm.
That'd really shake things up.
Envy's on.
Envy Masterminds on, bro. Listen, bring back the whatever that quartet was called. Their little official, you know,
Black
their
Friday
little
unit.
Harbor names. Yeah, the Black Friday boys. Bring back the gang. I'm just like, where they at? You know what I'm saying? Like,
one of those was Olive too.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, and was that official? Was it canon? I don't know. Plus, like, those guys are tied to the precursors, so they could fit in. Because, like, Zahn knows what's her head, Fryavia, and Fryavia knows other guy, and other guy's a precursor, I think. So, like, I don't know, man. Just like flesh it out.
Yeah, they could expand on storylines a lot more than they are.
Like, it's crazy how much story you can do when all the characters aren't dead 400 years before it starts. Jeez. Okay, my bad. I'm getting pressed. I'm getting heated.
I like it would be good to expand on current character stories, because I think that would allow them to like space out the need for like new units if they can like fine tune some stuff, because they're putting a story over here. And so maybe it won't feel like units are just being like shoved into your face for 2 weeks and then they're irrelevant. That would be nice.
Yeah.
If you want my thing for what should we get going forward, for me it would be fixing the old global units that really need it. For example, like, you know, Tiana definitely could use an overhaul, crowns, latents, just overall unit upgrades, stuff like that. The older unit, Shui Yu, never worked out. The overhauls didn't do anything. We need like a proper one. Stuff like that. The older units. Eldrin, I mentioned earlier, just really never was a big meta unit. You know, give him a chance to be strong for a while with, you know, old unit upgrades. Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that would be just amazing.
The Nopis and Trixic that they sold.
Oh, geez. Yeah, stuff like that.
That's something that happened over the span of the past year. Was Intrinsics came and went.
Well, they were kind of mid. So I get it.
Grab.
I get it.
Yeah. All right.
They were not that good. Like, if they really wanted a character to be stronger, just buff the character. Just raise their numbers. Like, come on, dog.
I mean, some of them were good. So like Starlight Elena's was good. Oliveira's was good. Sky's was good.
Well, good vacuously, maybe. Good in practice and execution. Did it shake up that much? I don't know if it really had that big of an impact per se.
Skies
Like-
was pretty impactful.
I think Sky's was, yeah.
Well, yeah, well, sure. But I mean, like, okay, one of. Like, even if like half of them were impactful, the other half, and I think half is generous. And more specifically, again, why just have them be buffs? Just buff the character. Just buff patch. Like, hey, their numbers are higher. You're welcome.
Oh, for sure. If we're talking like, you know, latent, basically taking away a materia slot versus crowns or just upgrades. Yeah, I'd much rather crowns or just direct upgrades.
Yeah, well, yeah, crowns and like awakening and like whatever the ability enhancements. I always thought that was goofy. Just buff the character, because like if the game can survive them being buffed, and we know that because we can buff them ourselves by grinding, then Gumi knows they can buff them. And if Gumi and Alum know they can buff them, hey man, don't make me tediously earn the buff patch, bro. Just drop the buff patch. Come on, like you know what you did. Chill.
Yeah.
So, what I would like to see is that system coming forward where like characters just openly get number increases as like a you're welcome, installation complete. Here's the new patch, Elena's stronger. Here's a new patch, Queen has an 800 mod limit burst. I said it. But like, you know what I mean? Like just raise their numbers, dog. It's not that big a deal.
You can even do that without impacting your sales. Just saying.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. So that would be something I'd be looking forward to. And like story quests coming back would be cool too. Like the story events or whatever.
Great. I love them.
That'd be hype.
I really do.
We all seem to be in agreement that lore and background on these characters rather than just having a sprite is useful.
Oh yeah. Because like otherwise it's just like, cool, here's an ability and some numbers and like an outfit that you can't really tell what's exactly on it because it's pixels.
I mean, just a quick, sorry, HK.
No, you're fine. Go for it.
The first, my big memory that drove me for a long time in FFBE, and I put it in my game show, is the story of Ruggles and Lunera and Brand. You know, that hit so much harder and kept people in for so long that the more we have of those, more people will be engaged, and they can even still create a new unit for that. But if you could create a really solid lore with that, I think that will get people back into a much happier mindset.
I agree. Because, like, I'm more of a lore person than I am, like, all the trials and other stuff. So when there's, like, none of that stuff, really, the game feels pretty stagnant to me.
Yeah. It's funny, right? That, like, the cutscenes are too long and there's not enough lore. That's rough.
It feels like irrelevant stuff in there. I'm like, cool, we walked down a road.
Yeah, it's like Gordon Ramsay's grilled cheese, you know? Like he burnt it and it wasn't cooked long enough somehow.
Mm-hmm.
It's both.
I've seen that one.
Yeah.
Didn't his mom tell him that wasn't done?
I think so.
Probably.
I think so. We've branched into a whole new meta. It's okay.
Kimchi in that sandwich, bro.
It's okay. It's all good.
Kimchi in that sandwich, my guy? Gordon? All right.
Hey, I'm all for the grilled cheese meta.
Right.
I made a really good hot ham and cheese in my air fryer the other day.
Well, baby, I like that.
I bet that slaps.
Check the link for the description.
Hell yeah.
Cool. Is there anything else before I let you guys go? I know we've gone on. We're running really late, but I think we're having a good time. Is there anything else that anyone wants to throw out here as our last minutes, please?
Yeah.
We need a Neovision pull reduction. I'm tired of getting, the Neovision ring that you can get for free in a lot of my pulls. And stop skipping things that people want. That's really driving people away. Like Carlet, for example, is the one that brought up multiple times this stream. Things like that. And like skipping things is just making people mad. I get all the time on my own Discord server, people are angry about why is this not coming? Why is that not coming? So yeah, I think you just need to stop skipping things because it really doesn't affect your balance of your checkbook. Gumi's checkbook if you let a few things go through.
If anything, it'd be better. The higher bottom line.
Exactly.
I know that like since we've had an in-person event now, I know that we did touch on like the design contest and stuff. I'm hoping that having in-person event is kind of a sign we'll maybe start with the character design stuff again, because I think that was a really fun thing to do and it's something I would like to see get integrated back in.
Speaking of characters, HK, are there any new cosplays that you're currently working on? So I like kind of started Melia last year and then didn't finish it, especially the way I wanted to. So that one's kind of on the top of my list. And then I want to do possibly another Christmas unit this year because I haven't done anything since Santa Rosalia.
Lucas, let's go.
No, what? Girl.
Generic silver robot.
How about Lily?
Let's go.
Lilith, yeah, good stuff.
White Knight Noel, let's go.
Yeah, we're doing all of them. Yeah. Melia is Melia. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we had an ad and it happened right when you started talking. So.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I said Melia was on the top of my list because I didn't really finish her the last anniversary stream we did, and then I'd like to do a Christmas one. since I
For the
didn't do
broken
anything since
unsub
Santa
boys,
Rosalia.
becoming Lucas cosplay.
No, I kind of want to do Ayaka.
Lucas confirm.
I kind of want to do the Ayaka.
She's got a
but
great
we'll
coat,
see.
you know, and that Christmas Ayaka has a really fantastic coat.
Yes.
Actually true.
I can't pull it
I
off. I don't have the legs for it,
Sure.
but you know.
I've done 2 Esthers now, y'all. And just
True.
follow my socials if you want to see cosplay previews.
There it is.
Boom.
Is there anything else? Last call, guys, and then we're gonna say goodnight. I'm gonna let you guys say goodbye, and then I've got a couple closing words for everybody else. Anything else?
Thank you for hosting this.
About wraps it up for me. Thanks for showing up, everybody. You're cute as a button.
Thanks for the invite, and thanks to Mad Guru for the game show. It was a lot of fun.
Yes, that was fun. Even though I
You're
fell flat on
welcome.
my
The
face.
inside of a coconut's hollow, right? I can't do it. I'm not doing it.
Oh, I've got a picture to show you, SK. I've got to find it again.
My DMs are open, my man.
Oh God.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
But I want to
Great
say
job.
thanks to the community for
Yes,
giving
yes.
us an opportunity to show off and to chat to you.
See ya.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gerd, for hosting the event. Thank you to all guys for being here, sharing your opinions, your time, your perspective, and of course, thank you to all the community for staying tuned.
All right, guys. You guys have a good night, and I'm gonna say one last little bit here. So give me just a second. We made it, guys. It's been a lot of fun for us to sit and talk, and I hope it's been a lot of fun for you to sit and listen as well as we share about our experiences for playing the game over the past year. I want to thank each and every one of you for sticking around and chatting the whole time and asking questions and being part of our, our community, our global community. I want to say a huge second round of thank yous to all of our guests, our special surprise guests. Our mod support for the night was MK Ultra, so thank you so much. And also DJ Phantasm for preparing all of our music for the stream tonight. In the credits, in just a minute, you're going to see a link to his SoundCloud, and I really appreciate you taking a minute to check him out if you enjoyed any of the music that you heard. But for now, it is time for us to go. And so I'm going to wish you a farewell, and we'll see you in the next stream or the next video, the next discussion, the next social media post, the next carrier pigeon. Maybe I'll see you on the friends list if we can get it to work and cooperate. But you know what? Good night, guys. You be good to each other. Thanks for being a bunch of dudes and foxes, all right? Take care. Have a good